day of the combine. The big uglies are in the building. We're going to watch some of that. We're going to break down poppers and floppers from yesterday's combine. Man, these boys all got turbocharges. I don't know what is going on, but the fastest combine in what the last 3 years or since 2023 so far in every category: quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, offensive line. Well, not yet, but defensive line, edge, safety, linebacker. Man, these dudes have been flying through these drills. And now we get the big dogs that everybody's been waiting. Well, at least I've been waiting to see. I like to see the big dogs. But yeah, so final day, the big uglies in the building. Jennings Dunker, does he surprise some people? He already surprised a lot of people, right? Where does he fall on the board? Does he go in the first round? Does he go in the second? All these questions we'll have to answer. Greg Brewer in the building. What's good, my guy? How are you on this lovely Sunday? Begalone. This dude is a monster too, man. A monster. We all know them Las Vegas Raiders were at a lot of Penn State games, right? Could it be this man? Could it be the defensive edge? What, Zion? Oh my God, that dude just murdered it as well in the drills. Some of these big dudes have been all over the place, man. Jason Ruiz, what's good, my guy? What do you think about the combine so far? How y'all feeling? Who's your winners? Who's your losers? Or as I say, who's your poppers and floppers? Not too many floppers. Not too many floppers. I feel like the guys that didn't run the drills, right? The guys that didn't show up, didn't participate, or the guys that did show up but didn't participate. I think it hurt your stock, man. I think it hurt your stock. You should never ever listen to people like your agents that tell you not to, not to do these combine drills. I feel like it hurts people's stock. Like if you say you're a competitor, right? Show your competitiveness. Don't be like, oh, well, I'm projected to be the number one pick overall, and I'm just gonna go stand here and watch everybody throw. Or I'm gonna be the best receiver, so I'm just gonna stand here and watch everybody catch. Like, why even show up? To me, it makes no sense, no sense at all. So the combine, man, not too many people, as you can see, not as big as it should be, but you got to get these guys in the building, man. I think there needs to be a rule. If you're invited to the combine and you don't show up, something's got to happen. You get fined. When you become a player, you get docked. I don't know. Something's got to happen, man. But they got to do something with this. Yeah, see my future quarterback, Mendoza. I need glasses. I can't read that at all. um, Mendoza doing in them drills, even though not throwing. Proud of my boy. Um, what drills did he do? Did he do the high jump and the long jump and shit? Could have stayed home but still showed up. I mean, you might as well stay at home, right? But you got to show up because it's you got to do the interviews, you got to do the medical, you got to do all that shit. So you got to show up for that. But to just show up and watch, it makes no sense, bro. It makes no sense. To me, you're hiding something, and I said this with the last couple years. Like, you're hiding your flaws. You're hiding your flaws. People are out there to criticize your footwork, your mechanics, your accuracy, right? On these, back shoulder throws, on the deep ball throws. And you're hiding something. You're hiding something if you don't want to compete. You can't say you're competitive. Ooh, the big man flying. No, you can't say you're competitive and all about ball, and then not show up at a combine where everybody wants to see what you can do. It's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. No matter what team you play for, no matter who you're going to be drafted to, you just shouldn't. Look at Markel Bell is going to run the 40 times, 6'9" and a quarter, 346 pounds. And this man shows up to run a 40. Oh, but he's the number one pick. He could, man, get out of here with that shit. This dude is 6'9" and a quarter, 346 pounds, and he's up here running drills. Look at the big man, going to run a 40 time. Lawrence in the building, what's good? Markel Bell, let's see what he gets. I don't know. What do y'all think the big man at 6'9", 340 gets? What do you say he runs? I say he can run under a five. He's big, bro. He got long legs. He's not too heavy. Might be athletic. I mean, he is too heavy, 246, but 346. That's a big man. If he runs anywhere in the four in a five like 5'5s, that's insane. I think he can get somewhere around 5'2". Can he block though? He played for Miami. Go back and watch the film. I think he could block his ass off. He's got an 8 foot wingspan, bro. He could just stand there and reach people and just throw them to the ground. Like this dude is a monster. I think he gets overrated a lot by Malagoa. When I was watching Malagoa, he stood out a lot. Markel Bell is a dog, bro. 5'5". Whoo! What I say? About the 5'5" somewhere. 5'5" flat. That's big man muscle hustling right there. What we got? He was on the field doing drills yesterday with everyone. Who? Mendoza? No, he was not. Mendoza didn't throw at all. He didn't throw to nobody. He was in a jacket and pants standing there going, looked like he was nervous as hell that some of these quarterbacks were out there ripping the ball. And shout out to the quarterbacks that did show up at the combine and show out. Chase Basantes with a 5.03. That boy was moving. Okay, Basantes. How do you say that dude's name? That's a big boy. Should be moving like that. Lord have mercy. All right, we got Jude Bowery, 6'5" and an 8, 314 pounds from Boston College, up next. I love when the big mans are running. I love when the big mans run. 178-yard split. Oh my God. What the fuck you doing, bro? What? Fuck you calling me? I missed the time. Thank you. Thank you. um, he don't need to throw. He's ready. I'm not so sure of that, man. I'm not so sure of that. The safety from Oregon reminds me. She probably just ruined that. Can y'all hear me? What? I am live. Thank you. I'm not so sure about that, man. I'm not so sure about that. I've watched film on Mendoza till I'm blue in the face, and I've seen this man make throws where Omar Cooper Jr., who I told y'all was a first round pick, right? I've been saying this all year long. Omar Cooper is a first round pick. Oh, he's gonna go in the second or the third. Nah, he's a first round pick, and now he showed it with his 40 time, running what 4.5, 4.6, way faster than people thought. Omar Cooper is the man, but look at the catches Omar Cooper makes. Look at the catches um, that Charlie Becker make. Look at the catches that Surratt make. If you go back and watch film, not all these balls are as accurate as everybody says. They are not. So, man, I don't know. I don't know. His toughness, yes. His intelligence when it comes to reading defenses seems like it's there, but you really can't tell unless you go back and watch the Cal games, right? Indiana, you don't get to see his decisiveness or his decision making. It's all one snap read, like blue 52 hut, and you throw the ball, right? He's not throwing the ball down the field once in a while. They're all short, comeback routes, drag routes. So I, I'm just, there's parts of his game, but the fact that you didn't come out at the combine, what do you have to hide? What do you have to hide? I hear this bullshit about, well, he could get hurt. If you get hurt throwing a damn football, you shouldn't be a number one pick. That's all there is to that, right? If you can't go out and throw a football at a combine because you might get hurt, but you're not going to get hurt with 300-pound men, you know, barreling down your face. Come on, bro. Like, there's no excuses on why he shouldn't. Oh, he's not going to up his stock. No, but he might hurt his stock. And if I'm the Raiders, speaking of winners or losers, you know, floppers and um, whatever, you know, floppers and poppers. I think the Raiders are the floppers in this. Go out there and be competitive, bro. For one, you're telling me you're the most competitive dude. You're all about competitiveness, but you don't want to go out there and compete against these other quarterbacks. You don't want to go out there and throw to receivers that aren't yours. That doesn't show competitive. That shows bullshit to me. And then the fact that the Raiders are like, man, okay, we've seen the college tape. Yeah, but go out there and see what he is with his peers, right? See what he is with the pressure on, with just everybody watching him. And yes, he's going to do it at his pro day with receivers that are going to make him look good. They're going to make great catches. They always do. They run great routes. They have great timing together. So I'm just still not sold on the Mendoza thing 100% completely. If they take him, I mean, shit, it's fine. But if they take him and he flops, bro, it's not going to be good. This team is going to be bad for the next 10 years. Easily. DJ Campbell with a 5'7", 175 split. That boy's flying, bro. Flying. My Arkansas boy, Fernando, the other Fernando, 5'22". We can have two Fernandos. Fernando Carmona and Fernando Mendoza. Cage Casey, another big man. Dude, Jaeger Barton ran a 4.96. 4.96. 300 pounds. 4.96. All right, Demetrius Cross, Crown over A. What? Texas A&M, 6'5", 312 pounds. These are big dudes, bro. These are big dudes. Like the receiver, Lane from USC. I like him too. I like him too. He had he had some dumb drops though, man. Had some dumb drops. The ball was right in his hands, like a couple times. The one was the start of the drill, right? Right in his hand, turn around, drop the other one. I don't know. I don't know. I still think Denzel Boston is the best receiver in this draft. I don't think it's close. I see the Carnell Tate, you know, but was he really that good? He had two running backs that rushed for over 1,000 yards. The next year they had, you know, he still got the best receiver to come out of college football who hasn't come out yet on the other side. You know, he gets all the double teams. So Carnell Tate, I'm watching his route running. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'm looking at Denzel Boston, and this dude comes out and runs a 4.4. What do you run, a 4.44 or 4.46? When everybody thought he was, you know, in the 4.5s, 4.6s. His hands, the contested catch, the just the athlete that he is. I think Denzel Boston is the best receiver in this draft, man. I really do. And think he's going to be a dog at the next level. None of that is on Mendoza. The Raiders fans have been screaming that we need a quarterback. Mendoza knows it's so. Why would he risk? His agent told him not to compete. Back to the shoot. Can you tuck your ears into your hat, please? They already are, bro. They already are, bro. You feel me? Why wouldn't you risk it? What are you risking? What are you risking? What are you risking? Tell me, Lawrence, what are you risking? What are you risking? That you might not have a good combine? That you might miss some throws? That people might see that you're not the number one overall pick? Or go out and show that you are. Go out and show that you are. It's not worth it to him. Like, what do you mean? What's the risk? What's the risk? What's the risk? People see that you can't make the throws they thought you could? Like, that you can't do it consistently? Like, what risk? What? It doesn't make no sense to me. Big man's Jennings Dunker at the line. 519. Whew. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Eric Cruz, 495. These big men are flying, bro. Flying. But I don't, nah, man. I don't buy that risk shit. I don't. If your agents are telling you not to throw, there's a reason. There's a reason. You already have the number one pick, so they're like, don't, don't make yourself look bad. But that's bullshit. That's bullshit. If you're covering up shit, just like I said all year long, Miami covered up his flaws by the offense they ran. They covered up his flaws by the running backs that they had. Two good, damn good running backs that one might go early in the draft, the other one might fall, which I don't know how, but they had a damn good offensive line. They had a defense that was top in the country. That if they did make mistakes, they got the ball right back. Or if they had to kick a field goal, they got the ball back within a couple plays. It wasn't all Mendoza. It wasn't. It's not like you turn on the tape of Caleb Williams at what the hell, USC, right? He was doing it all. Like, he didn't have a great offensive line. The man was running for his life and still making crazy, crazy plays. This dude is in a robot system that you could close your eyes and probably run because he's made those throws so many times to the same spot over and over and over again. He doesn't take snaps from under center. 3% of his snaps were under center. That's a big difference in the NFL. That's a lot to work on. You're not, number one picks should not have, well, I need to work on this and this and this and this. Nah, bro, you shouldn't, I need to work on a couple things, but you shouldn't have big things that stand out, in my opinion. Monroe Freeling with a 4.95. Spencer Fano with a 4.91. Monroe Freeling, who I have going in the first round, just made his stock go better. That athleticism right there. I mean, he's already a dog. Nobody's getting by him. And then you come out and you run that? A 4.95? All right, next up, 6'4", is Sam Hecht, who a lot of people say could be the center for the Las Vegas Raiders, with a 5.10. That's a pretty solid run, too. It's pretty solid. Damn, I didn't know Spencer Fano was that quick, bro. A 4.91. That boy was moving. Damn, I didn't know I had more comments. 10 months, Raider Ryan. Thank you, my guy. Appreciate you for supporting the channel for that long. You are one of them ones. Thoughts on Brady not thinking Mendoza is the beat quarterback in the what? Thoughts on Brady not thinking Mendoza is the best quarterback in the draft? I don't know what you're saying. He's clearly the best quarterback in the draft. Is it the guy Brady wants? I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I've said this before. Brady came out and said on an interview, CJ Carr was the most NFL ready quarterback he had seen since Joe Burrow. He never mentioned Fernando Mendoza. They never talked about him. He talked about other quarterbacks. Never mentioned Mendoza. Max Ian Archer, 4.91. That is my number one pick in this draft. I'm telling you, if I'm the Raiders, I don't care about Proctor. I don't care about Fano. I don't care about none of these guys. If this man is there from 20 on, you move up and get him. Ian Archer is a absolute freak, bro. And I had no idea that he was that athletic. It was gonna run that fast. A 4.91? A 4.91? Bro, you have to go get that big man. You have to go get that big man. But if you're the Raiders, tell me this. If you're the Raiders and you're looking at this draft, who has had the fastest linebackers, fastest safeties, fastest receivers, fastest corners. Wait, the corners did not make the list, I don't think. But fastest every position. This has been one of the fastest combines. The guys' IQs are there. Their athleticism is off the charts. We'll get to some of those guys breaking records. My Arkansas Razorbacks, you know. But man, you can't tell me that if you're looking at this draft and somebody is calling you on the phone and saying, man, what do you want from Mendoza? What do you want from Mendoza? And you can get 2 first round picks because you can just get somebody else's first round pick, swap picks with somebody and get another one. That's the way to go. Or if you can get a first this year and a first next year and maybe use one of those first to move back up into the first round, use that first next year to move back up into the first. Man, there is so much talent in this draft. And the Raiders, my other flopper, right? Poppers and floppers. My other flopper is the Las Vegas Raiders winning the last game of the season. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And nobody understands how much that hurt this franchise, this organization, and this draft. We're looking at a draft that has speed galore, size galore, muscle, intelligence. You got guys like Jacob Rodriguez that could fall, some people have him in the 3rd round. There's no way he makes it out of the 2nd. You have to go up and get these guys, right? You only have 1 pick in each round. The Las Vegas Raiders could have had the first pick in every round, but they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Just to make people happy, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They brought in Aiden O'Connell, who we all knew Aiden O'Connell was going to come in and win because that's just what he does. Anyways, they went from having the first pick in every round with all this talent, and they could have just cleaned house in this draft, to now they have the first pick, they have the 4th pick in the 2nd round, they have the 3rd pick in the 3rd round or 4th pick. You're moving all over. You could have got the best player in every single round and clean house this year. We had to beat the Chiefs, bro. Was it really worth it? Did it make Raider Nation any better? Did it help this team? Did it gain momentum? No, because you lost your coach again. You lost your coaching staff, so you have no momentum to carry in to the next season for winning a meaningless game. And the losers, floppers, are the Las Vegas Raiders in this draft. They have screwed this up drastically. Drastically. And if they take Mendoza, whether he turns out to be great, whether he turns out to be the next Joe Burrow, the next Andrew Luck, and the next Peyton Manning all rolled into one. Y'all are smoking. But if he does turn out to be that, that's great. That's great. But come on, man. If you're telling me that you can move back somehow, if somebody wants Mendoza, right? Because Mendoza is this great quarterback, this great prospect that is better than Joe Burrow, that's better than Peyton Manning. Why aren't teams beating down the door to come get this dude? Why aren't 3 picks? Okay, we'll give you 3 picks. The 49ers gave up 3 picks for Trey Lance, bro. Trey Lance. You know where he's at? A backup for Justin Sherbert. 3 picks for Trey Lance. But Mendoza's is this can't miss prospect. I don't see this, man. I don't see it. If that was the case, there would be teams, like I said, willing to give up 3 picks. There would be teams that have quarterbacks that would be willing to give up 3 picks to have them sit on the bench for 3 years, like the Green Bay Packers have done twice now, right? There would be guys that are willing to go get this man. Why aren't they? Why aren't they? Are the Raiders just saying, no, this is our guy? And if that's the case, that's stupid to me. That's stupid to me. If you're telling me somebody, and not everybody, but maybe the Cleveland Browns, maybe the Cardinals, maybe the Jets, maybe these guys with 2 first-round picks. The Cardinals don't have 2, but maybe the Rams want their quarterback of the future. Maybe somebody wants this guy. And if they call and offer it to you, like the Cardinals, right? Mendoza said he had a great workout with Mike LaFleur, right? Loved the interview with the Cardinals. Maybe they move up. They're sitting at 3rd. If you're telling me I can move down to 3rd, somehow get a pick next year, and more picks in the 2nd or 3rd round this year, I'm doing that, bro. I'm doing that. You got Lorenzo Styles. You got Sony Styles. You got David Bailey. You got... come on, bro. Zion, what's the other kid? Like, there are so many players, probably in the top 30 540 that are going to be starters day one, in my opinion. Fernando Mendoza is probably going to sit day one. Day two, day three, day four, probably the whole year. Probably the whole year. Because you don't put in a quarterback, a rookie quarterback, if your team's winning. And I feel like with the coaches we have, with the players we have already in the building, and with this draft, that we're not going to be as bad as people think, right? We're not going to be a 2-15 team or 3-14 team. I don't feel like that's where we're going to be. So it's just, man, I don't know. This the whole Mendoza thing is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. You think the Raiders should sign Tyreek Hill? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's up there in age. He's not going to have the speed he once had. He's not even going to have close to the speed he once had. You can't take a chance on Tyreek Hill. You can't. We don't need that. You can go out and get you could get that speed, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. You get that speed right here in the draft, man. Jeff Caldwell from Cincinnati, 6'5", 216, had a 1.48 split, the best out of all the receivers. Ran a 4.31. Ran a 4.31. Nah, you can keep Tyreek Hill. Keep Tyreek Hill. I'm taking Jeff Caldwell in the third round. Second, late in the second, moving back up to get him. He's not going to go in the first. There's, you know, too many positions, too many needs for guys to take for seven, I think, for seven receivers to go in the first round. But there could be five or six. There could definitely be five or six. Guys like Casey Concepcion, which I thought, did he run out there? Right? He didn't test. He didn't do any of the tests. So I thought guys like Casey Concepcion, guys that didn't test at all, that showed up and didn't even bother testing. Like, okay, you didn't run the drills, but you didn't even test. I mean, you just showed up to talk to people. I don't know. I think those guys are floppers to me, but nah, there's a lot of speed in this draft. You can get guys that could take the top off, that have, that have size, that aren't 5'6", that can stay healthy. The price tag for Tyreek Hill is crazy. Name a projected quarterback number one in the past 10 years who threw at the combine. Someone from our generation would throw these kids. Nowadays, our privilege, you can't even get them to take the trash out. Raiders. Furpo in the building. What's good, my guy? Raiders are 18-0. That's crazy. That's crazy. You a Raider fan? Nah, I just like the hat. I just like the hat. I just like have the shit on my couch too. Raiders will be trash. That ain't nice. Kind of like your mouth. Trash. Trash coming in here talking that trash. With all the talent in this draft, trading Max is a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. Absolutely. And I think it'll... Oh, Jaeger Burton with a 4.94, and he ups his shit. That is crazy. A 4.94. That man needs to be on somebody's draft boards higher. DJ Campbell with a 5.2. Man, these offensive linemen are moving. Fernando Carmona, he gets slower. The Max Crosby seems like I've said a million times. It's not if, it's when. I don't think it'll be this year unless something crazy happens, right? But I think the price they're asking is the price they're asking because they don't want to trade him. We all know this, right? But the news just keeps coming out, and none of it's changing on the Max Crosby side. He ain't saying shit, but everybody else is speaking for him and saying, dude, there's still problems in the building. And, even Mr. Carpenter, Hondo Carpenter, has come out and said that only two people can fix this, Max and Brady. Without saying anything, you just pointed to Brady and Max being the problem, right? So Brady's a smart man. Brady's a smart man. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I'm just going to say that. He knows what he's doing. He knew what he was doing when John Gruden wasn't there no more. Crazy emails. He knew what he was doing when Derek Carr got benched. Come on, man. This dude knows he's breaking down the Raiders. Come on, this is Tom Brady. This is all Tom Brady. This is Tom Brady. So if you're a Crosby fan, you could thank Tom Brady if he's not here. That's what it is, bro. That's what it is. 100%. What's good, George? What's good? Cool boy in the building. What we got? Faded Raider. What's good, Faded Raider? I've been alright. Appreciate you for the $10 smackerizzle. 496. Unique Cruz Jr. That boy was flying too. At work, wanted to show some love to the channel, man. I appreciate you. We need love. Everybody needs love, right? I remember 27-33 week 1, 2001. Lost, but that was the past. Yeah, man. Yeah, I can remember lots of losses. I think every game I've ever been to in my life was a loss. I don't I don't even I can't remember a win. Maybe my brain's just messed up for, all the shit that's been put through in life, but I'm trying to think of a game that I was at where we won. This is why I don't go to games anymore. You ask me why I don't go to games? I feel like I jinxed this team. If I show up, even when they're supposed to win and they're favored, they lose. They lose. So I'll just sit at home, watch the game. So would you prefer that Mendoza sat and learned under? No, not under Gino. No, no, no. Rather than just throwing his legs up in the air, sweeping the chimney, and giving him the keys to the franchise. Well, when you put it like that, I don't want his legs up in the air, sweeping no chimneys. Virgin Boy could do that on his own time somewhere else. But yeah, man, I mean, just listen to the tea leaves, right? The any windows. John Spytek. Every time he's asked about a quarterback, he said, "Well, I prefer they sit for a year." You're the general manager. If you prefer they sit for a year, come on, man. They're gonna Brandon Sharif. Brandon Sharif is who they got Jennings Dunker comp to. That's a big comp right there. It's a big comp. What was I saying? Yeah, so with Spytek constantly saying you don't throw guys to the fire. You let them sit, you let them develop, you let them learn the system, you let them learn the speed of the game, and when they're ready, then you put them in, and not until they show they're ready. Tom Brady, on any interview he's ever done ever, says quarterbacks should never start the first year. Nobody's ready. They're not taught in college enough, right? They're not developed enough in college. You're told to go out there and win on your athleticism as a quarterback, like Taylen Green, and we'll get to that later. So no, man, you don't throw them the keys to the franchise. You don't. Now, if this kid went out and won 10 games, 12 games, Monroe Freeland with a 4.93, he just gets faster and faster. He's definitely a first round pick. Monroe Freeland, I had as my number 3. He might be number 2. With that speed, that quickness, Elijah Vera Tucker is the comp for Spencer Fano. I don't see that at all. I guess their numbers are exact. Holy shit. Damn. But yeah, man, so more than likely he's going to sit for a year. The problem is, who's he going to sit behind? Are you going to go out and pay big bucks for a quarterback again just so he can sit and learn? Are you just going to let him learn from the coaches and, let Aiden O'Connell rock with the season? Those are all questions that have to be answered. But I feel like it's already a fail. If you're telling me you're going to draft a quarterback number 1, you're going to release the quarterback you got or cut him or trade him or do whatever you can do. Alan Hara with a nice 1-2, right? And then you're going to go out and spend money on a free agent quarterback? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We have holes to fill. You need to plug those holes with some decent guys. Or start trading people. Start clearing house. Just start clearing house. Tyree Wilson, what do you want? a fifth round. You give me a fifth for Tyree Wilson, you gotta go, right? Colton Miller, Colton Miller, you a Raider? I know you just signed a new contract, but if somebody wants him, shit, come make us an offer. Come make. That's I think where the Raiders are at right now. They left the door open for Max Crosby, and they have to go over this roster. Until they go over the roster and know who they got, then they don't know who to draft, right? You don't know which guys you can develop or try to develop, so you're just wasting draft picks until you know the roster. But I'm looking at this roster, and all they gotta do is call me, and shit, I could tell them which guys need to go and which guys need to stay. It's not even close. Spencer Fano, damn, only two tenths of a second faster than Jennings Dunker, bro. Jennings Dunker is gonna be a dog. So, no, I don't believe you hand the keys to a guy. Um, I believe you hand the keys to a guy if you're drafted first overall. If you're drafted in the first round, you're telling me that you believe this quarterback is ready to start in the NFL. I'm sorry. If you take a guy in the first round, if you take a guy first overall, number one, and you don't think he's ready to play day one, what are we doing here? We're drafting guys for developmental pieces. Didn't we do that with Tyree Wilson? How did that work out? Didn't we do that with Alex Leatherwood? How did that work out? You can't continue to just draft guys because he might be able to be that guy. Nah, if he's not the guy day one, he's not a first overall pick. He's not a first overall pick because you can go out and get guys like Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Sonny Styles, Denzel Boston. Did I call him David Boston earlier? Probably did. Denzel Boston. You can go out and get guys like this. Sonny Styles. I mean, come on, bro. I would take a linebacker, yes, at that position with the speed, the athleticism, the size that he has. We hear everybody talking about Arvell Reese and David Bailey, but then you look at Sonny Styles, who ran the craziest 40 time for a linebacker I've ever seen at 6'5", 200 and almost, 25, 30 pounds. You're telling me that this dude at 6'5" can't develop into one of the best pass rushers in the NFL and a linebacker? Because he's the same size as Arvell Reese and David Bailey. But he's way faster than David Bailey and just a little bit faster than Arvell Reese. So when you got guys like that, those are top blue chip players, man. People want to say there's no elite guys in here. Come on, if you're telling me with the speeds that David Bailey, Arvell Reese, and Sonny Styles ran that there's no elite guys in this draft, I can't buy that. I can't buy that. These are times dude, they all blew away one of the greatest linebackers of all time. Anybody know who that is? He played for Baltimore. Y'all know who that is? Yeah, he was 6'2", 230 pounds, 35 pounds, 40 pounds. What was he? 40 pounds? Yeah, 6'2", 240. Didn't run nowhere like Sonny Styles, right? Now, does he have the tool bag as a Ray Lewis? No. But the numbers are there. He's bigger, taller, faster, can get stronger. I just don't see how any team could look at the quarterbacks and say, I need that one quarterback. I need that one quarterback. He's the best player in this draft. When you have holes on defense, right? Why was he one of the best players in the college football last year? He had one of the best defenses. What was his defense at Cal and what was his record there, right? You got to look at both sides of the ball. So I just feel like the Raiders, they still haven't said right. They're still evaluating Fernando Mendoza. Yes, they talk to him. It's all great. You go up and draw plays on the board. Yes, he's intelligent. He can do all that. But you don't think all these other quarterbacks can? Come on. Y'all watch Barstool Sports with Gruden? You see the Gruden breakdowns that he did last year with Jackson Dart, with Tyler Shuck, with who else was in there? Will Howard, Brosmeyer, right? You see those breakdowns? All those dudes were intelligent-ass quarterbacks that could all make good-ass throws. The problem was they weren't on great teams. They weren't on great teams. Now, Jackson Dart was. But the rest of them, They weren't. They were the difference makers on their team. Fernando Mendoza, I just don't see that. I don't see that. He wasn't the difference maker at Cal. He was okay. And I don't think you just flip a switch because you won't go from one team to another. Anthony Costanzo, Monroe Freeling comp. Damn. That's a good comp. That's a good comp. So yeah, man, if you draft him number one, you got to give him the keys to the franchise. That's just my take on it. That's my take. You can't take a player day one and tell me he's not ready to play. it's just it's nonsense, bro. That's nonsense. That's just franchise suicide. When you got 30 other guys or probably 40 other guys that are ready to play day one, yes, it's a rebuild. That's fine, but why? Why? Does it have to be? We could turn around overnight. Every other teams do. Um, I don't know. I brought that inside. Nah, you good. Good. Raiders. I'm good, man. My day's pretty good. How's yours? All right, let's see the big man drills. See how these boys work. Side to side, lateral movement. What we got? Max alcohol recovery is the reason why he will never resign. Jack Del Rio as a head coach. Probably, probably, or John Gruden, right? Or John Gruden. But just because your coach likes to drink or has alcohol issues, this dude has a family and a kid, bro. He don't have to go hang out. You don't have to go to the bar. You could go home, right? Their out of work issues should have nothing to do with Max Crosby, and they already got a head coach. They don't need one. Damn, Chris Adams got some slow ass feet. That boy's just slow all around. Good heavens. All right, Austin Barber, what do you got? Ooh, that boy quick. Decent lateral movement. Decent lateral movement. Are you enjoying the combine? Yeah, man. Just people out here killing this combine. Killing this combine. Arkansas ruled that shit yesterday. Evan Bernstein from the Bernstein Bears. That's a good time. Malik Bell, how can you get up? Oh, he got up pretty quick. I like Markel Bell, bro. I didn't know he can move like that. For his size, I had no idea that dude could move like that. Chase Basante is another one, but man, I just don't think we need guards right now. I think we're good on guards. How would you feel about drafting two quarterbacks this year? What two? You mean Taylen Green? If you draft Taylen Green and have him be our gadget guy, be our um, what's the white boy in New Orleans? What can I think of um the quarterback slash running back slash tight end slash receiver, the gadget piece they got over there in New Orleans. I mean, if you could bring in Taylor Green to do that and draft Mendoza, I think that would work. I would like that. You could just bring him in at the goal line, bring him in short yardage, have some gadget plays here and there on third downs. But I don't know why we would draft two quarterbacks. If you're drafting a quarterback number one overall and you draft another one, that's gonna scare the shit out of me. That's gonna tell me that y'all don't have faith in what you're drafting. You don't know, if this guy is gonna be the guy, or you're like, why are you drafting a quarterback? Now I know. Sorry, I'm looking at Jager Burton. That boy got some quick feet. I like it. I like it. I know the Patriots did last year. They went and got Joe Milton, and they went and got Drake May, right? Kind of what scenario I'm talking about. They got that faster mobile quarterback, and then they got that stand in the pocket guy like Drake May. Drake May seemed to work out right off the rip, and they traded Joe Milton. I mean, that could happen. I wouldn't mind that. But I just don't feel, I'm probably gonna break a TV if they draft two quarterbacks in this draft. I'm gonna lose my mind, bro. There's no reason if you're drafting a quarterback number one overall or even in the top five that you take another one. That just tells me that you're worried about your pick and you don't trust in your pick. That's you know we don't need two rookies. One of them's probably going to be on the practice squad and get snagged up like Cam Miller did last year. That's not going to help us. Patrick Queen, what about him? That matters too. I agree with you though. What? You're a lesbian? That's cool. I'm a lesbian too. I love Cooter. My favorite. When's your mom transition? Fuck you mean, clown boy? Bumped your head. You in the wrong chat, butt boy. Fernando is fine, but if he could be PPA, it would be nice. I mean, at number one, you can't really take best player available, right? I feel like at number one, you have to stick and pick, or you have to trade back. And if you stay at number one and take the best player available, that's fine if it's if that's the guy you need. But that number one pick is so valuable that even if you need the guy, like the Raiders need a quarterback, the assets that you can get from this pick just boost your franchise rebuild tenfold, right? And who doesn't like tenfold? If you give me $100, you're gonna 10 times that shit to 1,000. I'm in, right? Who doesn't like tenfold? So if you want, you know, okay. I knew there was a reason I had you in my top 15. Famara, that dude, oh my goodness, boy is quick for his size. Wow. And Spencer Fano is too. Great footwork. No wonder they got him projected as the best tackle in the draft. But I don't know how much better. Oh, Monroe Freeling slipped. Yeah, there you go. Start over, bro. You need better cleats. Y'all need some spikes. How come? Let me ask y'all a question. Maybe y'all know the answer. How come these dudes don't wear cleats with thicker spikes in them, right? Because you're just doing one-on-one drills. You're not going to hurt nobody. You're not stepping on anybody's hands. You would think in drills like this, where you're 300 pounds and you're moving lateral to lateral and you're planting a 340-pound body with tennis shoes on AstroTurf, you'd think they'd wear better cleats. It just doesn't make no sense to me. Don't make no sense to me. I just can't wait until San Francisco beat the 49ers again. You're going to have to wait for a minute, bro. We ain't losing them to the 49ers. You just ate an entire can of beans? Bro, you're going to smell nasty later. That's not good for you. That is not good for you, bro. A whole can? Damn. Max Ian Archer, bro. That is the pick. That is the pick for the Raiders. You have to pick that dude. He has to be a Raider. He fits this team. Everything about him, his character, his muscles, his movement, like his aggressiveness. I really like this man. Parham could definitely be replaced. Um, I kind of feel like Parham gets brought back. Hear me out. Hear me out. If he gets offered a bag, a shit ton, and in free agency, we'll find out his loyalty, right? Does he want to be a Raider or does he want to go somewhere else? More than likely, you should want to go somewhere else with the way this offensive line coaching has been for the last 3 years. You probably don't want to be here. However, if nobody comes calling and beating down his door and willing to give him an offer, right? The Raiders have first dibs. He was drafted here. He's been here. We have, we can match any offer. So let him go out. Let him do his thing. If he gets crazy money, let him go. But if he doesn't, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing Parham back. He's a guy that can play left guard. He's a guy that can play center and right guard. And you can never have too much, versatility on your offensive line, especially the way our offensive lines get hurt year in and year out. It just makes sense to have a guy that, could be that utility guy. And it makes sense to bring Meredith back also as a backup and compete for that starting job. And if he wins it, he wins it. But Meredith is now a guy that can play left guard, right guard, and also a little bit of center. Now he didn't do great at center, but I'm sure he's going to be developing that in the offseason and working on that too. So I feel like the offensive line is tricky. When you listen to the coach, he said he likes the offensive line. He believes there's talent in this offensive line. He also said he likes Geno Smith. So, man, there could be some problems. But Parham could definitely be replaced. It's his last year, right? It's his contract year. So you either pay him or he moves on. And if Spytek is a man of his word and is true to what he says, right? He says you keep guys that were drafted guys and you develop them in the building. Maybe he tries to keep, Parham. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all. But if you're going to keep Parham, you're definitely going to have to let some guys go. Because we have, 15? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 11 guys that are on the roster and another 6 that are offensive linemen. So yeah, they got some issues on the offensive line. I could say we don't trust Geno and AOC. I'm fine with AOC, man. I'm fine with AOC. That was weird. What's the name of the running back? That cried like Derek Carr after he ran the 40 times. Joking, I like the backup Genty. Well, let's get into my poppers and floppers, right? Poppers and the floppers. These are the dudes that I felt flopped. And by flop, I just mean, I don't mean they totally shit the bed, right? These are just guys that I had projected to do a little bit better than they actually did at the combine. First up is quarterback Jalen Daniels, right? He's like 6'1", 6 foot, something like that. Thick as hell, has legs like an offensive lineman. And the dude comes out and runs a 4.65. Now I know he's a quarterback, right? But a 4.65 for a mobile quarterback, I was just not impressed. And then he had some balls get away that were ridiculously got away. Like they were running for their life balls. So yeah. Flopper for me is Jalen Daniels. Next up is a lot of people have as their number 2 or number 3 running back, and that's Emmett Johnson. I wasn't impressed too much with Emmett Johnson. He had a 35 vert. He had a 10 broad jump. He ran a 4.56. They said on his college shit that he was 5'10 and 220 something pounds. He's really 5'8. I think that kind of hurt a little bit. So for me, running back Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska, flopper. Not that he's still not going to be, probably a 2nd or 3rd round pick, which I don't know. I don't know how you draft a guy that small with, 4.56 wasn't impressive. I thought it was going to be a lot faster. Then you have Desmond Reed, right? Desmond Reed is a guy that they had at 5'8", 174 pounds. Turns out he's 5'6". I don't know why you gotta lie about your height, bro. It's like lying about your age. It makes no sense. So Desmond Reed, you know, and the fact that he didn't test, he didn't run, he didn't do the high jump, he didn't do the long jump, he didn't do any of the testing. So I thought that was a flop. Brennan Thompson. Brennan Thompson wasn't a flop. His speed was what I thought he was going to be, right? I had him on the fringe of being on the top 10 receiver list. He was, in the honorable mentions of my top 20 because I didn't have top 15. There's just too many guys that I felt like were going to, that have that dog in them that could be receivers at the next level. And they all pretty much showed that at the combine. So my receiver list, if you didn't watch it, go back. The video, the live is out. We talked about it. Go back and check it out. I also have linebackers. But go back and check it out. So Brennan Thompson, the thing with that is another guy that was shorter than what they said he was, right? Which, you know, speed was great. I thought he dropped a couple that he should have had. So not flopper, but just a guy that I wasn't really happy with some of the things. Chase Roberts, another guy. Jonah Coleman, 5'8", 228 pounds. Didn't test. Like, this is the combine. That's here for a reason. People want to know these measurements for a reason. It tells your explosiveness, right? It shows balance, body control, right? Long jump, broad jump, whatever you want to call it. The high jump. It shows, how explosive you are in your first step. And to show up to the combine and not test at all, flop. And then this one's hard, man. This one's very, very hard. It hurts my soul to say. It really does. I'm gonna have to think about it before I tell y'all because I don't know. Yeah, let's just say it. Zachariah Branch. Now, if you don't know Zachariah Branch, if you don't know the Branch name, then you're probably not a Raider fan, and you should go do some history. You know what I'm saying? Look it up. Chat GPT, Google it, do something. But Zachariah Branch has connections with a former Branch in the building that was in the building. But they said he was 5'10". They told me he was 5'10". I put this man at my number 11 receiver in this NFL draft because they told me he was 5'10" and he could run a 4.2 or 4.3, right? I'm thinking, damn, this dude's Armand St. Brown. 5'10", got damn good hands, runs decent routes, but way faster than Armand. No, he's 5'8", 177 pounds. 177. That's not a football player. That's a kicker. I'm kidding. Zachariah Branch, my dog, you know that. But yeah, a kid that back in the day in practices was running around a Oaktown field in Oakland, But Zachariah Branch, yeah, I was very disappointed that he was not 5'10" and he was only 5'8". I still want him to be a Raider. I still want you to draft him. Maybe you could take the place of Trey Tucker. That would be fine. I'd be good with. Trey Tucker just irritates the shit out of me every single year. I expect more and I get less. But he did have a good year. Anyways, a 38 vert. I thought he was more explosive than that. Zachariah Branch is built like a brick shit house. But he jumps like he's got a brick shit house tied to his waist. I'm just saying. Like 38, come on, man. 38-inch vert. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. But I think I could jump that at 50. I'm just saying. I'm 5'10". I could probably get 38. Probably not. Broad jump, 10 and a half. Not too bad. He ran a 4.35, man. So give him credit. He's a guy that I think maybe kickoff returns, punt returns, you know, that sneaky receiver that you could, you know, if you're running a spread or whatever, you can put him in, you know, to run reverses, double reverses, end rounds, quick outs, slant routes, you know, be that inside guy. Zachariah Branch could do that. So I don't have him as the flopper. I have whoever the hell wrote down his measurements and lied to my face and said he was 5'10". That pisses me off. Pisses me off. The other flopper, Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza. Flopper. Flop. Flopper. He didn't do shit. He didn't test. He didn't throw. He just stood there, not smiling for the first time in my life that I've been watching this kid on camera. When they have him on camera or he knows he's anywhere near a camera, you got that big smile. Everything's great, right? It's a perfect world. Nothing is wrong in Mendoza's world. But when he was watching those other quarterbacks throw, I seen a little fear in his eye. I'm not gonna lie. I seen a little doubt. I seen a little doubt. He's watching those dudes throw, and he's like, when it came to the deep balls, when it came to the footwork, and the dropping back from under center, which we don't know he can do. We've only seen 3% of the time in college football he was under center and had to have a 5-step drop or a 7-step drop. Well, most of those were 3-step drops. Under center, come out, boom, tight end, boom, receiver, boom, running back, right? He things he hasn't showed that I thought he should have showed up and showed. Titus Howard is the comp to Max Ian Archer. I could think of way better comps than that, but I'll take that one. So Mendoza, flop, man, flop. Like, come on, at least show up, test, show your competitiveness, and I caught the man lying. I'm not gonna play. He said in an interview, "Have you got to meet Tom Brady yet? And did you get to talk to Tom?" He said, "Well, I haven't formally met Tom Brady." That's a lie, bro. That's a lie. Why are you lying to us? Why are you lying to us? Whoever is telling him and giving him the script to say to memorize when he's asked these questions, don't make him lie to us. You're going to lose Raider Nation. At least you're going to lose me, bro. I don't like to be lied to, especially by my quarterback that's not even on the team yet. But the man was asked, "Have you met Tom Brady?" He said, "No, I haven't met Tom Brady, but I got to say hi to him on the phone." That's bullshit. At the national championship, you were on the sideline talking to him. I got pictures and video of y'all standing there bullshitting. So why would you say you haven't met him yet? It just doesn't make no sense. Doesn't make no sense at all. Also, he was asked, somebody said, you know, "I really wish you go to the Jets." And he said, "We'll see." So you never know. You never know. Teams go out, teams go out. But yeah, Mendoza to me, like, and you know, same thing. I said the same thing about Cam Ward last year. I said the same thing about Shador Sanders. I said the same thing about Caleb Williams. I don't care if you're number one, bro. I don't care if you're number one. Go out and show the world why you're number one. Don't make it look like, okay, I'm number one, but I'm not gonna show you. Like, I'm gonna do it at my pro day when it's scripted and you know they're not asking me to do anything I can't do. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And another flopper is Casey Concepcion. No test, no drills. Or he ran some drills, the gauntlet and a couple, but no test, right? No measurements. Didn't want to show anybody his high jump, his long jump. You're gonna do. I mean, why do that at the pro day? So it doesn't make no sense. They're set up already here. You're already in the building. Just do the damn test, right? So for me, no test for Elijah Surratt, I thought was a flop. And then Casey Concepcion, same thing. The man shows up, he's there, he runs a couple drills, he had a couple drops. He had a lot of drops during the season. 18% drop rate or something? And some people are talking about this man going in the first round. That, from what they're hearing, teams could very well move up for KC Concepcion. I think you're high, bro. I think they're high. I think they're high. So those are my flops. My flops. Oh, Jennings Dunker with a good rep. Good rep. I like that. I like that. Um, and then let's get to my poppers, right? Who popped? Who was the guys that stood out? Number one overall. Not my number one, but a guy that I was arguing, keeping in my top 15, moving to the top 10. And I'm glad I didn't move to the top 10 because I found out that he's a little bit shorter than he was supposed to be. That guy is Dion Burks. Dion Burks, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, if you watched my receiver video, I told you Dion Burks is a second round, maybe early first couple picks, third round. I just don't see how he gets there. I just don't see that. Out of Oklahoma, had a 43.5-inch vert. He's 5'8", bro. This man jumped out the building. This man jumped out the building. But also, what the Oklahoma wide receiver did is ran a 4.33 flat. 4.3 flat, Dion Burks. This is a man that is going to elevate the floor of your offense instantly, right? You're looking at guys like somebody said Tyreek Hill earlier. Dion Burks. I've seen him compared to Debo Sanders, Samuel, however the hell you say Debo's name. I don't like that comp. I really don't like that comp. Now, I thought he was a little bit bigger, and then now that I figured out that he's a little bit shorter, the comp kind of makes a little bit more sense. But Dion Burks, man, I don't, let's say this, I don't really change where I have guys because of their 40 times, because of their, athletic abilities all the time, unless they just wow me. And I didn't see Dion Burks running a 4.3 flat, and I didn't see him jumping a 43.5 vert. I just did not see that. I knew he was, I knew he had springs. I knew he was quick, but I didn't know he was that quick. And there was a good reason I had him in my top 15. Next up is Skylar Bell. Again, if you watched the receiver video of where I have my receivers ranked in my honorable mentions, if you haven't, man, damn, go check it out. It's still up there. Skylar Bell, I thought was a guy every time, while I was watching film, I was just like, man, this dude is special. This dude is special. Good 40 time, not great, right? 6 foot 192, killed it in all the drills. I thought, just looking at the way this man moves, I'm not going to throw any comps out there, but I have a couple. And I think he has a chance to be very, very special. And also, from a little birdie in my ear, has told me the Las Vegas Raiders really like Skylar Bell. Really like Skylar Bell. So we'll see, right? We'll see. Is that the pick, at 36? Do they trade back and try to get Skylar Bell? We'll see. But just remember, Rebel said Skylar Bell. Keep that name in mind. Another guy, I'm just going to mention his name. I ain't got to tell you. It's Omar Cooper. No, he's not a popper. But his 40 time did pop, right? And I've mentioned this a million times. Every time somebody asks me about Omar Cooper, can the Raiders get Omar Cooper for Fernando Mendoza? I said no. And I'm going to continue to say no. And I've told you why. He's a first-round pick. Omar Cooper is a first-round pick. There's no way that this man falls probably out of the top 20. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I say he's taken within the top 20. Now, there's some teams after that could take him, but I would very, very, very be very, very surprised if Omar Cooper is there after 20. Let's just say that. So, if you watch this channel, if you're loyal to this channel, like my guy Lawrence, like all my peeps in the building, I don't even know who's in here that I missed. Greg Brewer, all y'all, Raider Ryan, right? If y'all watch this channel, and you're loyal, you already know. You already know where I had Omar Cooper. I've been talking about it all year. People had him in the third round, right? We did mock drafts, and I told you on my mock drafts, I'm not drafting Omar Cooper in the fourth round because it's a stupid mock draft. There's no way he makes it to the fourth round. Mock after mock after mock, third and fourth round. Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper. I told y'all they're not gonna be there. So Omar Cooper, not really a popper for me, but for a lot of people, they moved him into the first round. I already had him there. Just saying. Over half the season, he was a first round pick. Jacoby Lane, my guy Lawrence's guy. I was impressed with Jacoby Lane, man. 6'4", 200 pounds. Ran a 4.41, I do believe, 40 time. I was very impressed at that. For 6'4", man, the dude was moving. And with his hands, his route running, you know, if you look at mock drafts, if you look at the consensus, he was still there in the fourth and fifth round sometimes. Well, I think he moved up a little bit. I don't see him being there in the fourth round. I would be surprised if he wasn't an early day, round three pick for Jacoby Lane. I think he surprised some people. Another dude that surprised some people and is a popper, one of my big poppers, is Deshaun Stribling, man. 6'2", 200 pounds, and he trucked in at the 4.36 mark. 4.36. This boy's feet were moving so fast, dude. I thought it was a I don't know how y'all, but y'all watched the Looney Tunes with the Arriba little Speedy Gonzalez. The Speedy Gonzalez dude. That's what I thought. That's what I thought when I seen Stirling. Except he's 6'2", right? He's not like a little mouse that's fast as hell. Nah, this dude is quick, bro. Quick. Had a damn good combine. I thought for being 6'2" and 200 pounds, he's a guy that could give you a Jack Best type dude with crazy speed, right? He's physical. He can block. He knows how to block. Has damn good hands. Has a damn good catch radius. Can win at he can high point the ball. Decent hands. So Deshaun Stribling, I thought definitely jumped up. I had him in my top 15. He's probably in the top 10 now. He's definitely a mover. I didn't see, I seen a little bit on tape, but I didn't see it like that. I didn't see it like that. So a guy that jumped for me, I have him round two, probably mid round two. Somebody's gonna take a shot on Stribling. And then guys like Drew Alar, I thought had a very solid day. Cole Payton had a very solid day, right? A reason why guys like Fernando Mendoza should be throwing at the combine, right? These guys came out there and made some noise. Not that they're gonna go in the first round or be a first overall pick, not crazy like that. But definitely quarterbacks that had a good showing. I thought a lot of the quarterbacks had a damn good showing. One in particular, uh, also wide receiver, Josh Cameron out of Baylor. I didn't have him anywhere in my top 15. I think I'm gonna have to go back and watch more tape on Josh Cameron. I really liked his footwork, the movement, the hands. Um, attack the ball. Don't let it come to you. Right. Doesn't let the ball get to his body. Definitely, is a hands catcher. And yeah, Josh Cameron, I thought definitely surprised me, and I don't even know if I watched film on him at all because he was not, like I said, in my top 15. So I was very surprised. But one of the biggest winners of the day, man, one of the biggest winners of the day for me was Ted Hurst. I had him in my top 15. I think I had him in my top 10. Wait, where's my list? Hold up. Where did I have Mr. Hurst? Yes, it's a lot of pages. I know it's a lot of pages. Where the fuck? Wide receivers. Had him at 12. Had him at 12. I think he's gonna. No, he's not passing. No, I think he's good there, man. I think he's good at 12. But if you're looking at possibly, I said I think there's 5 or 6 first round receivers in this draft. After the combine, there might be 6 first round receivers in this draft. There could be 7. There could be. You're looking at a weak quarterback class. You're looking at a running back class that nobody's taking in the first round. You're looking at maybe 1 or 2 guards in the first round, maybe 3 to 5 tackles. Probably not 5, but there could be probably 5. So, and if you're looking at that, the receivers are going to start popping off the board. It's a fast receiver class. They all have experience. They all have plenty of snaps. They've seen plenty of defenses. They can. They all have decent route running. But Ted Hurst, man, 6'4", 206, was tops in the 3-cone drill. Oh wait, no, that's Jeremy Bernard. No, was tops in the 3-cone drill. And I forgot to write down his times. But anyways, at 6'4" and 206, he ran a 4.42. Man, that's cooking for the big man. A 4.42. He has great hands. He made one of the most spectacular catches I've ever seen at the combine. Running one way for the deep ball, went this way, spun back around this way, and still reached out with like everything he had to catch the ball, pull it in, kept his balance, and still kept running. Just the athleticism for Ted Hurst, just it popped. It popped. He had an 11.3 broad jump. 11.3. You think that's, I mean, you're like, damn, 6'5", that's a damn good broad jump. Wait till you see Taylen Green. Um, so yeah, Ted Hurst, one of my biggest winners, and then Jeff Caldwell. I talked about that 148 cone drill. He had a 110 split, which was wow. 6'5", 216, and you had a 110 split, bro. That's crazy. With the 4.31, that's out of the ballpark. Out of the ballpark. But the biggest winners of the day, yes, biased aside, no Razorback glasses. Y'all know I'm a Hogs fan. But the biggest winner of the day, man, has to be Mike Washington. 6'1", 223. Came out and smoked every running back in this class at a 4.33. Had a 39-inch vert. Not the greatest. I thought, need more explosiveness from those hips. Should have been doing a lot more squats before this combine, because if he was, I believe that 4.33 could have probably been a 4.29. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we're talking a leg moving from here to here. Like, it's the difference in that speed. So, yeah, man, Mike Washington, again, if you follow this channel, I appreciate you. If you don't follow the channel, well, damn, follow the channel, right? So you get information like this. Mike Washington, when every mock draft had him at 147, 147, I had him in my top 50. Yes, my top 50. People are like, you're crazy, bro. Mike Washington is not a top 50 player. He can catch, he can run, he can block. He has the lightning speed that one cut and he's gone. 4.33. How is he not a top running back in this draft? I have him at number 2. I have him at number 2. Jordan Love is still number 1. He's just the spin moves, the jumping over people, right? That's the athleticism that Mike Washington doesn't have, as you can see from the 39-inch vert and the 10.5-inch broad, or 10 and the eighth broad. He has 33 and 5/8 arms, bro. That's crazy for a running back. That's tackle arms. Like, so Mike Washington, definitely. I already had him at day 2. I had teams taking him, early day 2. We'll see if people still need running backs or are believe that highly in this running back class. Jadarian Price could also be number 2. But Mike Washington, to me, Darian Price, yes, he can run kickoff returns. Yes, he can run punt returns. Yes, he was, up there with Jordan Love. But Mike Washington is different, man. This dude is different. I seen him carry the Arkansas Razorbacks offense. With my next guy, Taylen flipping Green. Taylen Green. I try to tell y'all, bro. When they say I don't know talent or I'm reaching on people, it is crazy. Now, Taylen Green, he's not going to be the greatest quarterback. He doesn't have the greatest arm, but it's way more than solid. He doesn't have the greatest accuracy, and it's not way more than solid. He doesn't have the greatest accuracy. But that accuracy, I think, is from the decision making. He makes very, very bad decisions, bro. And that could be fixed, right? You put on the virtual reality, like I told him to do with Jaden Daniels. We talked about it when he was being drafted. They already do that, right? Talk to people in the Razorback building. They've been doing this with Taylen Green. So he comes in every day, for an hour or whatever it is. He runs a full game, a full college game, playing against top defenses with the virtual reality. And it's helping. It's helping. He has progressed. But with his athleticism, he ran a 4.36, bro. Second fastest quarterback in the history of the combine. He is 6'6", all of 240 pounds. 30 pounds? Yeah, 230. 230. He had an 11.3 broad jump. Shattered all records. Not only for quarterbacks, but up there shattering records for receivers, for a lot of positions. So Taylen Green killed Lamar Jackson, killed Jaden Daniels, just murdered their times at the combine. I know Jaden Daniels didn't run at the combine, but he still has 40 times out there. You have to run at your pro days. But the vertical jump, the long jump from Taylen Green is absolutely off the charts. Now, this is a man that, I've watched I watched every single Arkansas Razorback game that he's played, since he's been there, even before I watched all their games. So I've seen him live, seen him in practices. He's got work to do. But if it ever all comes together, right, and he has more work to do. Like, he's not Geno Smith in college, right? Geno was not mobile or nowhere near the athleticism, and had better accuracy, had a better arm talent. So the arm talent's not there, the accuracy's not there from Taylen Green. But if you're telling me you can draft this man in the late third, fourth round, and let this dude sit on your bench for 2 years, like they've done Jordan Love, like they did, Trey Lance, like they've done Aaron Rodgers, like they've done a lot of these quarterbacks, right? Tom Brady sat for a year. Mahomes sat for a year, right? A lot of these quarterbacks sit for a year. So if you're telling me you can bring in one of the most athletic, not just quarterbacks, but one of the most athletics and all guy of all of the combine at quarterback in the fourth round, and you need a quarterback, man, crazy if you don't take him. Crazy if you don't take him. Patrick Queen. That matters too. I agree with you. Appreciate you. Your mom's a lesbian. Nice. Um, Transitioned your mom last night. Had legs this way, this way. I'm just kidding, bro. Fernando is fine, but if we could get best of player, it would be nice. Yeah, I like that. I got to say most of these. This is such a good draft. Why are the Raiders wasting their no? That's what I'm saying, Gregory Stevens. I don't think it's a waste, right? I think Fernando, you know, Fernando is going to be that guy. I think he has most of the talents. He's going to have to work on some things. I don't see him as a first round pick. I don't. I really don't. You can't tell me just because you can read defenses, you're a first round pick, right? I don't see the arm talent there. I don't see the arm strength. There's a reason he didn't throw at the combine, and we'll find out in his pro day if they make him, throw deep balls, how good his arm is. But we've seen Taylen Green, we've seen Tyler. The hell is his name? The other quarterback. Anyways, we seen some of these quarterbacks throw right where they throw from the 20 yard 10 yard line to the opposing 30. So what's that? 55, 60 yards, right? Some of those guys made those throws look. Ty Simpson, it didn't even look like he was throwing, bro. He just dropped back. It was so easy. It didn't look like he put nothing into it, and he's throwing the ball 40, 45, 50, 55 yards downfield. So to me, that's what I wanted to see. That's what I want to see. So with again though, with all the picks in this draft, man, it just doesn't seem logical. Just because you need a quarterback, and the Raiders say we need a quarterback. Raider Nation says we need a quarterback. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But if you're looking at the coach we just brought in and what he's done with all the quarterbacks he's worked with, do you really need one at first overall? Really? The Redskins did with Kirk Cousins and RG3. Yes, they did. They did too. And look how that worked out. Like one went somewhere else and was good. They kept the wrong one, tore his knee. And so it doesn't always work like that. It doesn't always work like that. Yeah, the Redskins did it with but like I said, look how that works out. They kept RG3. They let Kirk Cousins go. He went on to have a damn good career. RG3's he's doing what I'm doing, bro. He's doing what I'm doing. He's probably making more money doing it, but he's doing what I'm doing. You're talking about Patrick McQueen for the Ravens. Guy you said was 300 pounds. Oh, um, no, I was talking about Ray Lewis, but he did. He said two quarterbacks. He didn't say draft order. What are you talking about? You said that the players that the Ravens. He doesn't anymore. The Ravens don't need Patrick McQueen. If they're willing to take him, shit, let him go. I'm sure we're willing to take him. What am I watching? I'm watching the combine. I'm watching the big dogs truck down the line, push some people around. Good hands, good hands. And the Seahawks are going to be a problem for a long time. I don't know. I don't know. Trixie Blue, what it do? Tigers or Lions? I'm a lion, bro. I'm a lion. Replace don't mean that you have to leave. Um, Let them be depth. Yeah, yeah, we need depth. We need depth. As you can see, the last 3 years, we've had not just one, but two offensive linemen hurt for more than half the season. So you got to have guys behind you. Kappa Foresight would be gone. Yes, please. Players that needed to let go. Zamir White gone. Dylan Labe. Um, I don't see him keep staying on the roster this year. I really don't. He was my guy. I thought, they would use him in the right positions. Have him running wheel routes, catch the ball out of the backfield, what he does best. They just don't know how to use guys. Snowden, I believe, will be back. Kappa will be gone. Kai Blue Kelly, I think, just because of the price and because you have 23 free agents, you kind of got to bring him back as a depth piece. In my opinion. And Gino will be gone, and AOC ain't going nowhere, bro. You crazy? Crazy. You have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you, cool boy. You have a good day too, my guy. That's Trey Tucker Branch. I think Branch is a way better Trey Tucker though. Trey Tucker, has those times where the ball just goes right through his hands, or he doesn't even jump for it because he's scared to get hit. I think he just plays timid, bro. He doesn't play like a Raider. I like Trey Tucker, but I just never been a fan. I just never. I didn't like the pick when they took him. you know, the speed they don't know how to utilize. We don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball that far because Aiden O'Connell's not in the game. Um, so yeah, Branch is Trey Tucker, but I think Branch is better. And he's got that Raider blood. He's got Raider blood. Yeah, the scheme doesn't help Trey Tucker at all. Chewy in the building was good. But what scheme? I mean, what scheme is he really going to be good in, right? You got a guy that's not the greatest route runner, right? I love the fact that that Trey's willing to block, but I just don't. I don't know. 38 is good. At 5'8", yeah, that's jumping out the building. He hasn't thrown the ball in the NFL yet. How is he a flop? You jumping in too late, my guy. I say combine, poppers and floppers. Day three. Day three. He's a flop because he didn't do no drills. Didn't do no drills. Go back and watch it. Um, Trey Tucker don't have ball skills. The route running is getting better, but you can't throw. Yeah, and with Devontae, I thought he should have been way farther along. You have Devontae Adams, one of the best route runners as a receiver in history. Whether you like him or not, he is still one of the best route runners. He gets open his whole entire career, not because of his speed, not because of his size, because of his strength in his route running. And Trey Tucker just, I mean, come on, bro. We're going into what, year four now? Year five? I mean, 400 yards, 400 yards. I think he had maybe close to six this year possibly. So this was his best year, um, but I agree we should have performed at the combine. Yeah, I mean the Raiders should have made him. That's what I'm saying. Like I want to see without having to put on film and watch it on a camera, right? I want to see his live action. I want to see his live, movement, throwing, and I want to see it compared to guys that you throw twice and they come in and throw twice. So you're seeing the velocity of the ball, the spin on the ball, right? How many rotations the damn ball has before it gets to the guy? They count all that shit. They watch all that shit. How are you gripping the ball? How does it come out? Does it come out fast? Does it come out, slow? How hard do you throw the ball? These are all things you got to know for a quarterback that you're taking first overall. Say you can say what you want about Al Davis, but he was never afraid of seeing big time free agents and throwing his legs in the air, sweeping chimneys. Wait, what? um, I don't know what you were watching. Al Davis didn't really sign too many big free agents. The free agents that they signed were all out of their prime because we couldn't afford them in their prime. So no, he wasn't afraid to spend money if you was as long as you were fast and had size. With that said, Makai Lemon had a rough day yesterday. Small receiver. You think he had a rough day? You're my favorite Raider fan. I'm a Bears fan. Watching interviews with Mendoza, great guy. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you. Yeah, the interviews are great. The interviews are great, but that doesn't translate to the field. And they put Jennings Dunker mullet on Rich Eisen. That is classic, bro. That is classic. That's funny shit. Oh my god. That's funny as hell. He's a nerd, but I love it. Mendoza seems corny. I mean, I really don't care, right? I don't care if he's corny, if he's goofy. That shit don't matter on the football field. All I care about is when he steps on the gridiron, he puts his cleats in the turf, that he's a dog. That's all I give a shit about. I don't care about what he does off the field, how great he is in his interview, how he talks like a robot and says the same shit every time he's asked different questions. I mean, if you like somebody that's just gonna tell you what you want to hear, that's fine. He's your guy. But I ain't into that. I want somebody that's gonna be real, that's gonna be straight up and tell you when shit's bad, right? Like Derek Carr. Derek Carr wasn't afraid to get on to come on here and bawl his eyes out because he was pissed off and frustrated with the shit that was going on in the building. Didn't say names, didn't throw anybody under the bus, but the passion that he had, right? Dude that's gonna tell you the way it is, how he feels. And one dude that's just smiling all the time, like nothing's wrong, nothing could go wrong, all positivity. Like, what you still gonna be smiling like that when we're 2-15? I, I, I will lose my mind, bro. If you get up there smiling like that, like everything's great, when we're a losing team, bro, I will. I won't be the only one, but I think a lot of people will lose their ever loving mind. So like, I don't care about his personality. I don't care what he does on his off time. I don't care that dude's a virgin and never even seen a cooter. I'm, that doesn't confront me. Football is what does. The fact that he's never taken a snap under center, but 3% of the time in college football is a problem, dude. That's a big problem. And a lot of these quarterbacks don't, right? A lot of these quarterbacks don't, but they have in other systems are more than 3%, right? So I'll just keep saying that shit till I die, bro. I watched a lot of football, and you can tell when you're running a system to cover up flaws for players you have. I mean, it's just obvious, bro. It's obvious. If you don't have speed receivers, you don't run 15, 20-yard outs. You don't run corner routes. You don't run post routes. You just don't, right? You bring in a guy like Rich Gannon and you throw the ball 5, 10 yards a pop and you move the ball down the field and you move the sticks. Um, you just you gotta adjust to what you got. So I don't know, man. Technically, I don't count one thing he means in a personal level, right? Yeah, personal level. You can be goofy as hell as long as it translates to wins on the field. It doesn't matter. But I just can't help but think every time I turn on the film, like, that was a great catch by Charlie Becker. That was a great catch by Omar Cooper. That was a great catch. Yes, there were good throws, but great catch over and over and over again. Great catch. One handed this way, getting your toes in where you're completely stretched out of bounds. There are so many of those catches on film that you just can't be like, oh, it's all Mendoza and he's a lock. He's a lock at number one. Mendoza's personality is one thing. I think he'll be a good quarterback. Dion Burke says sorry. Okay, okay. He did nothing in the SEC. Well, I mean, see, this is what I respect your opinion 100%, but are you watching him? Did you watch the team? His quarterback was hurt and still played hurt. So you're not going to have a quarterback that can throw the ball 80 yards downfield and use your speed and your strengths. I think that hurt him a lot. I think that hurt him a lot. They had to run the football a lot more, right? They relied a lot on their defense in Oklahoma. Dion Burks can catch, bro. He has some plays where he's going up and getting the ball for his size at 5'8" or whatever he is. I think the dude could play. You need to refine some of those route runnings. He wasn't asked to run a whole lot of different routes, but with the quickness, I think this man is going to be just fine. What is my favorite wide receiver all time in the draft? What do you mean? Raiders should trade for DJ Moore. Concepcion looked good, route running and catching balls. He looked okay. He looked okay. Raiders need a vet wide receiver. Why do you say that? Because they got a rookie quarterback? I doubt it on Cooper, but it could happen though. You doubt what? You doubt that he's a first round? Yeah, Surratt had a tough day, man. The drops, the all that shit. The Buccaneers are better than what? Raiders might be good with Fernando Mendoza. They might. They might. but they might be good with a lot of quarterbacks, right? They have a system. You have a head coach that runs his shit everywhere he goes. He's not changing it. They have a formula. They stick to that formula. And I think anybody's going to be good in it. I don't think you need a number one quarterback overall with a brand new head coach that's only had success twice in the history of the NFL with a new head coach, a first time head coach, and a first overall pick. All the other ones have failed. Why is ours not going to? Is Mendoza that great? Is this Raider team that great? Is Clint Kubiak that great of a coach that we feel like we're not going to be part of the ass end of history that we've been our whole lives? Look at the Raiders. Look over the last 250 games. Our history is on the wrong side constantly. Do we really want to take those chances of thinking we're going to draft a quarterback and put him with a first time head coach? And we're going to be the only team, one of the only teams out of the 7 in the history of the NFL, only 7 to go with a first time head coach and a number 1 overall pick? You know which ones worked? Terry Bradshaw. How long ago was that, bro? How long ago was that? Terry Bradshaw. You know who else? Andrew Luck. And you might say Cam Newton. You might say Cam Newton. They did make it to a Super Bowl. You know, they didn't win right away, but they did well. The rest fired within the first season, no later than the third. No later than the third. Sometimes you got to look at statistics, bro. Statistics and history repeats itself. And I just don't see the Raiders being a good enough team right now or after the combine or after the damn playoffs where they could come in and say, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And it's going to work different than it has for every other team in the history of the NFL. I don't know. But they have all their analytics, right? They have an analytics team. They have guys to do that. So maybe they're looking at the numbers. I'm just saying. If it hasn't worked, Caleb Williams got his quarterback fired in the first season. Jackson Dart, who they moved back up in the second round or in the first round to get, got his quarterback fired, or his coach fired halfway through the season. It happens on the daily, every single year. Trey Tucker is a wide receiver 3 on a great team. I think even on a good team, he's a wide receiver 3. I think the problem is with Trey Tucker is we've tried to make him a number 1 and a number 2, and he's just not that. Your number 1 or number 2 can't miss catches. They can't dive for deep balls when they have guys smoked, right? When they got 3 steps on somebody and you're looking over your shoulder and you're diving for a pass that if you would have just kept running, you would have caught, right? Nothing against Trey, but they're not using him right. They're putting too much pressure on a dude's shoulders that shouldn't be there. He's a number 3 receiver, number 3. And on a great team, like you said, he's a number 4. Yeah, I do think Lemon had a bad day yesterday. Why do you say that? Poor guy must be hard being a Raider fan. The franchise has kind of turned into a joke with Davis and the 3 Stooges. Oh, man. That is tremendously funny, Ted. Tremendously funny. Get back to work. The Raiders is going in the right direction now. I believe that 100%. I think they're heading in the right direction. Who did 4 tours in Iraq? So sick of the Raiders. BS. He switched to the 49ers. Your cousin? Damn. That's messed up, man. Why does he want to jump ship? Don't jump back on the ship when we start winning, though. I'm in the South. What the hell did I just do? Oklahoma run game was bad, and the other receivers carried, not Burks, who ran a 4.3. All that was good testing. I do agree, quarterback play was inconsistent, and you could say bad. I would. I don't know if I think Mateer played okay, right? It wasn't bad. I mean, playing injured, you're playing hurt. I mean, you got to give him credit for that, right? The dude could have folded, but he didn't. He hung in there. But these offensive linemen, bro, they're gonna kill the speed times too. They might break the speed record also. I think they already have. I think there's what four guys ran under a 4.5, flying off the charts. So yeah, man, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I keep turning on the tape of Mendoza over and over again to wow me, right? To find something that says first round talent. And I hear all the, Chase Daniels and all these quarterback gurus that have played quarterback in the NFL that know way more than, that probably forgot more than I'll ever know. But I'm just looking at this dude and saying, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I really don't. I really don't. Too many times I see a pocket collapse and I see a dude do this, right? Too many times. He's not. He's not that guy that's scrambling in the pocket, waiting for guys to, waiting for the play to develop, waiting for guys to get open. I don't think he has that in him. I just don't. And in the NFL, you're gonna have to buy time. You're gonna have to be able to move around in a pocket. You're gonna have to be able to move within the pocket, right? Not just outside of the pocket, not just get out, throw on the run. In the NFL, you have to move in a pocket, and you have to have confidence in that pocket. And I don't see that too much. I really don't, to be honest. You see some of the throws when he lets go, right? And the flashback on him, he's just like praying to God he threw it in the right spot. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know. Spencer Fano is a dog, bro. That boy is quick. Look at that hair flying. McKimmon had a lot of drops, and not sure if he tested as a top receiver with physicality, but equals day to me. What? Equals day through to me. I think Burks. I think Lemon. I don't know, man. I don't know. Look at Spencer Fanu's comp. Or Caleb Lamo's comp is Spencer Fano. That's pretty good numbers. They're all like right there. Those dudes are close as hell. So who's y'all's number one tackles? Who y'all got? Are y'all watching the combine? Is there anybody that stood out to you? Cheers. Did y'all hear that? Spencer Fanu said He will play guard, center. He will do anything to help his team win. I love that. I love that. A dude that's being projected. Sorry, it kept burning. A dude that's being projected to meet, maybe be the top tackle taken off the board. He's like, bro, I'll play center. I'm gonna take some snaps at center, so I gotta see this. I want to see him take some snaps at center. And I heard somebody mention this the other day that maybe you take a guy like Fano or Lamo and turn him into a center, right? But is that too big for a center? Isn't that too big? Like, I know quarterbacks are getting bigger now. We got one that, probably going to be 6'5", standing back there so you can see over those guys. But I think I want my center and my guards kind of like the 6'4", 6'5" range and just thick and stocky, right? I feel... Hello. I'm dying. I feel like it makes more sense to have, to have those big, tall dudes as your bookends and then leave the middle of the field so you have better throwing lanes. Because there's not too many guys in the NFL on the D line that are 6'6", 6'5", 6'6". If they can move, it don't matter at center. I hear that. If you can move, it doesn't matter at any position, right? Center, guard, tackle. I guess maybe tackle. You got to have long enough arms and good enough footwork because you're just left on the island constantly out there. So, but yeah, if you're that big with that athleticism, the dude ran a 4.91, and you put this man at center and get him out to the second level. He's hurting. He's hurting linebackers. He's the decapitating safeties at that level. I would hate to be on the other side and see that man get past my defensive line in a run and have that dude running a 4.91 40 at 310 pounds and six whatever he is, 6'7". Oh my God, bro, that's nasty. That's nasty. That's crazy. That's football. No, it's not. Not. There's not too many offensive linemen in the NFL that run like that. There's some big guys, and there were some guys last year that ran 4.5s, but I don't think anybody did. Anybody run under? Where's my phone at? Where's my phone at? I don't think anybody ran under last year. Let me check it out. Damn, today's March 1st. I'm gonna be old again in a couple of days. I don't want to be old. Did any offensive lineman run under a 5 flat in the 40 last combine? Should probably put on glasses to read. Top performers was Jared Wilson at 4.48. Holy shnikes. Jackson Slaughter at 5.2. Record. Terrion Armstead at 4.71 in 2013. Lance Johnson ran a 4.72. Oh my goodness. So those are the best in histories. So we're not breaking history in any of these, but that was a lot of guys that ran fast. That ran fast for their size. Do we need to draft a center? JPJ seems injury prone. Thank you. Finally, somebody that sees the same thing as I'm seeing. Damn. Logan Jones, offensive line, 4.94. Okay, Iowa. I see you, Iowa. Why are we testing 40? Or did they start back over? Why are they testing 40s? Oh, they had two groups ran. Oh shit! Richie Incognito ran a 4.84. Did anybody know that? I did not know Richie Incognito was that fast. A 4.84? No wonder he was a monster, bro. No wonder. Caleb Lamo with a 5 flat. That's moving, bro. That's moving. I did not know Richie Incognito was that fast, dude. That wow. A 4.84. I mean, that's football shit to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's quick, bro. Oh, big man Blake Miller, who I have top 5'9". That's moving too. 177 split. Boys are trucking. There is some speed, there is some size, there is some physicality and some athletes on this offensive line. They're not just they're not just big dogs, not just the big uglies. They the big athletics. The big athletics. Fake Raiders hat. What's a fake Raiders hat? What you mean fake, bro? What you mean fake? It's a fucking Raiders hat, bro. It's not fake. Makai Norris, guard from Georgia, is up. He ran a 1.73 split and a 5.10 40. So far, the leaders for the big men is Ian Archer and Fano at 4.91. I thought they had a guard that ran a. They said somebody ran a 4.89. Ryan Parker, another kid that I like. $5.14. That's not bad. That's not bad. So yeah, man. What else y'all got? I'm about to get off here. I appreciate everybody that pulled up, everybody that hit the like button. If you didn't hit the like button, damn, that's on you. You got to sleep at night. Like, subscribe. We are close to 2,000, man. We are on the grind. Proctor out there, icy. Has he ran yet? D'Angelo Pounds, he's running. 5.19. He looked way faster than that. 1.82 split. Proctor hasn't run yet. I'll stay on for the last 40s. I might as well call out the last 40s. Oh, this is all projected guards? What? They had the tackles now as guards and centers? I'm confused. Emmanuel Pregnon. How do you say that? Pregnon? 6'4" and a quarter. 314 out of Oregon. Let's see where the big guard runs. That boy got some arms. Jeez. Watching the Knicks and Spurs? Nice. One 8-2 10-yard split, not very quick. 5:22 40-yard dash for Emmanuel Pregnon. Pregnon. You can't say that. Pregon? Oh. So the other N is silent. Pregon? Thank you. Now I know how to say his name right. I won't be up here butchering it. Caden Proctor. Here we go. Big man is moving. 1.84 split with a 5.22. That's scary, bro. That's a semi truck coming at you in third gear. Holy shit. This man is 350 pounds. 364, I think they had him at. 364. And he's running a 5.2. That's crazy. 5'22". So that's freakish, bro. If you wanted to watch fat guys run, you go to the Golden Corral. That's messed up, my brother. That's messed up. They're not running for a steak though. They're running to get that money so they can buy some steaks. You got to see the fat guys run. You got to know how they move, man. How they move. Sometimes it's not all about blocking. Who do I want in free agency? Um, the corner from the Saints. What's his name? I'd take the corner from the Saints. That would be my big signing. I'd probably draft one of these corners in round 2. I forgot to talk about the safety Thieneman. Oh wait, that's for the next show. Raiders. I'm between location on my shoot. Wanted to say what's up. Nice. Shout out to you. Good luck on the shoot. Me too. It fits with starts with an A. Yeah, I know who. Um, hold on. I don't know why I can't remember to do his name. Saints corner free agent. Alante Taylor. That's it. Alante. Why do I want to call him? What was I gonna call him? I was thinking Avion or something. For some reason, I was thinking Avion. Something crazy like that. But yeah, yeah, Alante Taylor, bro. That's the dude I want. That's the dude I want. I think Alante is physical. He could play man. He could play the zone. I think he's gonna fit right in a 4-3. You got to have guys that can lock down your guys, and he's a lockdown dude. He's straps. That would be my big signing. That would be my big signing. If you can't, I wouldn't be mad with Reek Woolen, But I think Alante Taylor is better than Reek Woolen, in my opinion. I think he doesn't get as many penalties. He's not going to cost you with stupid plays. Definitely don't need to be getting no taunting plays in the playoffs, shit like that. But Reek Woolen, I'm totally good with. But I think Alante Taylor needs to be the dude for the Raiders. I really like the guard from the Steelers, the Samoan cat. I can't remember any of these dudes' names, bro. I shouldn't have took that hit. I can't remember now, so I forgot. I forgot. I can't. I can't. Um, Jake Slaughter. Woo! 178 split with a 514. That's a nice center. Bo Stevens, a guy I like. 536. Bro. I don't know how quick you're pulling at a 536, but that's okay. Logan Taylor, Boston College, 184 split. That's a 524. Oh, it's a 524. Stop playing. Stop playing. Wade 174. That's a 512. 5.4. I missed it by 6. I'm gonna start guessing every one of these. Watch. See what's up. Emil Wagner. I like this cat out of Notre Dame. I really like this kid. 6'5", 7'8", almost 6'6", 306. Let's see what he runs. 179 split. That's gonna be like a 5'6", 5'5". Oh, that's a 5'5". Almost had it. Almost had it. That's a 5'5", bro. That's flying for Emil Wagner. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That was cooking. I wonder if he could play center. Bro, if Emil Wagner could... That's a hot take right there. If you can get Notre Dame's Emil Wagner to play center at 6'5" with them wheels and the athleticism he has, the wingspans, that would be nasty, bro. That would be nasty. All right, Carver Willis. I don't even know who this dude is, but he played for Washington. If he was there last year, I don't want the dude he was coached by, Brennan Carroll. No, no. 184 split. That's gonna be a 5-2 something. 514. Okay, he picked it up on the big end though. He picked it up on the big end. 514 with a 184 split. He should have been like 5-2 something. The last cat had a 184 split, and he was a 5-2-4. That means he was dragging on the big end. Logan Jones ran a 494. See what he got. Woo, 491. Okay, Logan Jones. That's an athletic dude. He didn't have no flat flopping. There was no gut moving around. There was no skin being out of place. That shit was sucked to his body. Like, Logan Jones that's a thick dude, bro. He could be one hell of a guard or center in the NFL for sure. With that quickness and that body mass, like, I don't know what he weighs. They didn't put it up there, but I'm going to have to check it out. But yeah, that was a nice rep. Raider Nation, who we drafted in the first round. Who do we want to draft or who we drafting? I don't know. Caleb Lameau with a 5-1. That's pretty nice. 3 players with a 4.91. It looks like it's Fernando Mendoza, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm not mad at it. This will be probably one of the first picks the Las Vegas Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, or the Los Angeles Raiders have picked in a long time. Where I'm like, man, if you trade back, that's great. If you pick, it is what it is. Blake Miller with a 5-4. There you go, Blake. Way to pump that up. Went from a 509 to a 504. That's a good rep. Who are you keeping? Anyone from our LB room? Yeah. I want to see what Cody Lindenberg has. I think he's one of those dogs when it comes to, physicality. I think he's got that mentality in him. He's a decent tackler. I think he had I got to look at his RAS scores. I got to see what his RAS scores were last year. But I like Cody Lindenberg. I like Tommy Eichenberg. I thought towards the end of the season he showed a little bit of promise. He wasn't getting beat like he was last year, not this following year, but the year before as a rookie. And although he hasn't been in the best seasons, I think, on the best teams, I think Tommy Eichenberg has a chance to beat that green dot guy. Now, depending on who we go out and get, if we bring in a Quincy Williams in free agency, I would love that. I think he would shore up the linebacker room and make whoever's in that room better, I feel. So I wouldn't be mad at that. But yeah, Cody, I think those are the only 2 guys. Aren't they the only 2 guys we got right now? I think the only linebackers on the roster are Cody Lindenberg and Tommy Eichenberg. But, I rock with any one of those. I feel like, they have promise. They have upside. They ran decent, right? I think Eichenberg was a 4 and a 4.5, low 4.5s. D'Angelo Pons 515. Look at his mom up yelling. Mom got up and said, "Run, boy, run! Run, Forrest, run!" D'Angelo Pons, Ole Miss. I like him, bro. He was physical. I seen a lot of physicality from him. I just don't. I haven't got to the guards yet. So stay tuned for my guards and centers because that should be, um, what's today? Sunday? I got to do the other combine. Maybe Wednesday. Maybe Tuesday. I don't know. Tickle the noti, like, subscribe, follow so you notify when we drop content. But yeah, we'll probably do a live and talk about the centers and the guards this week for sure. I don't know what day. I already got the tackles. I already got my wide receivers I talked about. We've talked about linebackers. We talked about safeties. All of those are going to change. I had some people that moved up a couple spots, that fell a couple spots. Yes, because of the combine. So, yeah, stay tuned, man. We got all kinds of shit to talk about. We got free agency we got to get to. So I gotta blow through this combine shit, and then we'll be rocking with the free agents. So again, Alontae Taylor, I think should be number one on the Raiders list. I think if you pair him with, let Darian Porter try to play the slot, or put Alontae Taylor in the damn slot and let Darian Porter play the outside and learn from Alontae Taylor, I think that would be beneficial for the Raiders. Offensive line, again, we're going to talk about the Raiders offensive line, and then we'll break down the draft offensive line as well. But I've said this, and people think I'm crazy when I say shit. But damn, it just always just seems to come around, right? Months ago, I said, don't be surprised if the Raiders don't swing for the fences in free agency when it comes to offensive line, right? There's a bunch of young key pieces that it would be stupid, in my opinion, for the Raiders to come in and say, okay, let's bring in this guy and this guy and this guy, and let's let guys go that are in the building that we haven't seen what they can do. They haven't been able to practice. They haven't been able to play in preseason. A lot of these guys. It's a rebuild. Let's rebuild, right? You can build the offensive line. The Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams, the New England Patriots with Drake May, Sam Darnold in the Seahawks, right? You can build the offensive line after you have your quarterback. Now, your quarterback is going to take some shots, but not if you have a quick offense, a quick timed rhythm offense like Kubiak has, right? Not when you have a running back that can rush for over 1,000 yards like the Raiders have. I just don't feel like, with as bad as the defense is, with the talks of Max Crosby, that we go crazy on the offensive line this year. And I know every content creator out there is telling you the different, trying to tell you opposite. We're going after Lindenbaum, and we're going to bring in the best guard and the best right tackle. We're going to go get the tackle from, the right tackle from the Colts, right? We're going to go get the top 3 guards in free agency. And then we're going to have $30 million left. 14 of that's going to go to rookies. And then we're going to have $8 million to sign 23 free agents. No. That's not how it works. And it's not how it's going to work. I believe the Raiders, if anything, they go get maybe one guy, and that's probably a center, because they don't know. We don't know. I don't think JPJ can play center. I just don't. I don't feel like he's reliable enough. He's durable enough. I don't, I never, it cost us a game with Aiden O'Connell. Wasn't ready for the snap against the Chiefs that we should have won 2 years ago, right? When Aiden O'Connell threw for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns, we were up 17-15, and it cost us a game because our center is not the one calling out the defense. It was Dylan Parham playing on the right side where he's better, calling out the defense. And Parham tapped him, right? And you shouldn't need that. You should have a center that doesn't need somebody to tap him to tell him when to snap the ball, right? Your center should know. The rest of your defense should know. It should be a cadence, whether it's a clap, a code word, right? Silva, whatever it is. Your offensive line should be able to hear your quarterback. He should be good enough to and loud enough to be able to, for the offensive line to hear the cadence, for one. And I don't I'm not down with that. Guys reaching over and tapping guys are moving, pre-snap. I think it messes things up, and it doesn't seem to work from what I've seen. Now, if you have great offensive guard and a great center, then possibly. But if you have a great center, why isn't he calling out the defense, right? Why isn't he telling people when to snap the ball? So center, to me, I think is the biggest problem. I think we have serviceable guards. I mean, Caleb Rogers played just fine. You can move if you have to, you know, which I wouldn't try because he's already played, 2 years in the NFL, but you can move DJ Glaze inside, which everybody thinks that's the way to go. I think that's a mistake, in my opinion. He just hasn't developed. He got thrown into the fire week one. So what I'm getting at is there's serviceable offensive linemen that haven't been coached right, and we don't know what we have. So I would not be surprised if the Raiders spend money in free agency on defense, defensive line, another linebacker, right? Maybe pay one that's already in the building, like Devin White, that can, if anything, just be the leader and the mentor in the linebacker room and not have to be out there every single down, right? I think that's better for him. That's better for the team. In pass coverage, he should not be out there. So the Raiders, I think, can make some sneaky moves and be pretty good, right? Because nobody knows, you know, they think our offensive line is ass, right? They think they can't block, think the run game is ass. And I think there's a lot of things that we can do with the guys in the building to hit the ground running and come out and surprise some teams next year. Now I know it's a whole new verbiage, it's a whole new system, but one thing I know that I've heard from the little birdie in my ear and everything that I watch and the film that I watched on the Seattle Seahawks is their offense is not complex. It's not a playbook that's this big, right? It's it's a playbook that's this big. They come in, they run two or three formations. They run 12 personnel, 13 personnel, and they run a 2 by 2 most of the time, and that's what they rock with. But they run probably 4 or 5 different formations out of each of those sets. It's not a lot to learn. It's not a lot to make your brain go crazy, right? And they might tweak some things depending on the teams they're facing, but it's not a very complex system. It's a very friendly quarterback system, running back friendly system, receiver friendly system, where as long as you know you're 111, it should click. And if you look at the history of Clint Kubiak, it has with the Saints, it has with the 49ers, it has everywhere he's been calling plays, their offenses has clicked for a reason. It's a very simplified system where you just got to be better than everybody else and dominate. and and that shit works. So, if that's the case, Kubiak did wonders with the O line. Yes, but the O line coach that he brought with him to Seattle, in the Final Four, the O line coach that he brought with him to Seattle decided to stay in Seattle, and he's not coming back. So he stayed in Seattle. They had to go get Rick Dennison, which Rick Dennison was part of the offensive line. I don't know why my shit got all bent. What the fuck? Sit on it. Rick Dennison has been part of, helping the offensive line in the past. So, yeah, I mean, we got guys in the building. Like I said it before, I like the nucleus of the coaching staff. A bunch of young guys that have something to prove that they can be in the position they're in, because a lot of them taking on new positions, right? Januka moved from quarterback to offensive coordinator. You bring in guys that were defensive run coordinators that are now offensive run coordinators. You bring in guys that were on the defensive side of the ball that are working on the offensive side of the ball. A lot of these coaches are taking different positions that they've had in the past. They've played on defense and offensive side of the ball, but a lot of them are moving to different spots that they haven't been in. So I think that, you got a lot of hungry guys, and it could go two ways. Parham, not Meredith, should be relied on. Colton Miller, play a full season, let it known, played great. Rogers, Grant, keep growing. Glaze, we need more JPJ. Stay on the field. That's a lot to ask. That is a lot to ask. It is a lot to ask. That's why I feel like you draft another lineman. You maybe get a veteran. At center, there was another guy that was just released from the Titans that seems to have ties with Titans coaches that have came over to help us, right? So there's ways they can get it going, and Grant is still a developmental thing, but we'll see how he takes the step in camp, right? This offense might be easy enough because let's be honest. Last year, nobody knew what was going on. There's been players saying it. There's been coaches playing it. There's been reporters saying it. Nobody knew what the goal of the offensive line was, right? They didn't know what their blocking assignments were. They didn't know what they were trying to accomplish with whatever the coach was trying to tell them. So with that, I feel like we could be all right. We could be all right. But we got to replace Parham, right? If he leaves. And if they decide to go with JPJ at center, shit, I'm good with that. I feel like they know what's up. Seattle's offensive line, solid execution. That's why it was simple but worked. That's what it is. It's all about execution, but that is in any system, right? If you get guys that are smart, which Kubiak said he wants, and I believe Caleb Rogers. Let's be honest. Go back and do some homework on Caleb Rogers. Look at where he graduated, what he graduated with. Listen to the way he speaks. Right? He is very intellectual. He's very very smart. Offensive lineman. And that's why I think Spytech drafted Caleb Rogers. I think the same thing with Grant. You know, a lot of these guys seem very, very intelligent the last draft. DJ Glaze too. But that was another draft. So again, we could see the same offensive line. We could see the offensive line we seen when AP was running the show with JPJ at center, Meredith on one side. I mean, Parham on one side and Meredith playing left guard. I mean, we could see a lot of things. They have a lot of questions. Who is the starting quarterback one? I mean, if you draft Mendoza number one, he should be ready. He should be ready. So that's what I'm counting on. If not, I guess it's Aiden O'Connell, bro. I mean, I feel like they owe it to Aiden O'Connell for the shit he's been through. 3 head coaches, 25 offensive coordinators, 38 different quarterback coaches, 5, 6, 10 offensive systems. They owe it to this dude to put him in a system that's established, that he'll pick up. He probably already knows it. They probably already sent him a playbook. They probably already got guys on the team calling Aiden saying, "Hey, what do we do here? What do we do here?" So, cut Gino, start O'Connell. I mean, I wouldn't be mad with that. If they're saying it's a rebuild, and look, this is Aiden O'Connell's final year of his contract. We need to know if he's serviceable to keep as a backup, or do we let him walk in free agency? So we're going to give this man his opportunity if he can stay healthy. That's a big if. It's going to be hard, right? He hasn't been able to stay healthy so far. And in that position, you've got to have another quarterback. I don't want to start Aiden O'Connell. And yes, I said that. I don't want to start Aiden O'Connell this year and him get hurt somewhere in, week 2 or week 3 or week 4. And then the only quarterback on your, is Mendoza, who's not ready. Because if he was ready, he would be in there playing, right? I think that's a problem. I think that's a huge problem for the Raiders. So I don't know who the quarterback one is going to be. I don't like the idea of paying money for a free agent quarterback. Do you keep Kenny Pickett? I mean, you traded a 5th round pick for Kenny Pickett. You traded a 3rd for Geno. Geno was ass. Kenny Pickett was, oh my God. He had one decent game. The next game, yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett is Kenny Pickett. We already know what that is. But do you just keep him as, as a backup, as your third quarterback, or as your second? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the Raiders are gonna do. It's a damn good question. But I feel like spending money in free agency is just a waste of time. We tried that with Gardner Minshew. We just gave money to Geno Smith. I would agree, but the O line has never been good. Before the last two coaches, we do get good starting alignment. Actually, I mean, honestly, when AP was coaching, when the Turners took over, that offensive line went from 23rd in the NFL to 13th in the NFL by the end of the season. So we ended a season with the offensive line that had DJ Glaze as a rookie, Dylan Parham, JPJ, half the year, um, Andre, uh, Andrea, Andrea James on the other, part of the season, and then we had Meredith and Colton Miller, right? Our Meredith played. I think they moved Meredith over to right and Colton over to left. However they did it, that offensive line was okay. They weren't great, but we went from averaging 60 yards a game running the ball to up to 80 something, I think. So run blocking got better. And then Pete Carroll came in and decided to play musical chairs with the offensive line. And I'm sure if I see that, this coaching staff has to come in and be like, okay, some of these guys played very well. Some of these guys got better throughout the season. And some of them, if they would have stayed healthy, could have evolved it into a starting role. So there are pieces there. You can't judge last year with the horrible, horrible coaching. No, I think sit the kid. We can't put him out there to start. You think sit him? Sit him? So you're willing to draft a quarterback first overall that's supposed to be your franchise and let him sit? I don't know. Now, if you were drafting him 5th or 10th or 24th, that makes sense. But you don't draft a guy number 1 if you don't think he's intelligent enough to start day 1 in the NFL. That's just my take on it. I don't see that. I don't see that. I would love to not see AOC on the field. Why do you say that? Because of his injuries? Unless he's that guy out of the box. That makes sense. I think AOC had flashes of good when he did play, had a problem with giving the ball away. Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Marty boy? What do you mean? Aiden O'Connell in 20 games has 22 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Or 12 interceptions. 11 or 12 interceptions. That's double touchdown to interception ratio. He's only fumbled 4 times in his whole entire career. He's been sacked less than every rookie drafted before him or after him on a bad offensive line, and people say he's not mobile and can't run an offense. I really question people's quarterback evaluation sometimes. Like Aiden O'Connell, when the Raiders rushed for 100 yards or more, is 6-1 as a starting quarterback. It would be 7-0 if he didn't botch the snap in Kansas City. So to say that this kid, he's had flashes, but he turns the ball over, no, he doesn't. 3 of those interceptions out of the 12 were from Josh Jacobs in Miami. 10-yard passes that went through his hands, right to him, from here to my TV. And Josh Jacobs didn't catch him. Go watch the film of Miami 2 years ago. Those were 3 of his interceptions in his career in one game. Okay, 2 of those were Josh Jacobs. 1 was a bad throw. And then another one. So he's got 3 interceptions from Josh Jacobs not being able to catch the ball as a receiver out of the backfield. If you take those away, come on. The only quarterback in NFL history, and I still got time. Every once in a while I add to it, but I'm still trying to find a quarterback in NFL history as a rookie that threw 9 touchdowns to 1 interception in his last 6 games or any 6 game span of a season. You know who's the only one that I found? C.J. Stroud, taken second overall. C.J. Stroud. It wasn't Brock Purdy. It wasn't Joe Montana. It wasn't Tom Brady. Aiden O'Connell and C.J. Stroud are the only rookie quarterbacks that I found that have had a 6 game span where they threw 9 touchdowns, eight or more touchdowns, and 1 interception. C.J. Stroud had 9 touchdowns, 1 interception from week 2 to I think week 8, I believe, of his rookie year, and then he's threw a couple more after that. So Aiden O'Connell, he doesn't turn the ball over. That's the thing. He also, Aiden O'Connell, leads any quarterback that has ever put on a Raiders uniform, whether it's been LA, Vegas, or Oakland, drafted, brought in free agency. In his first 20 games, his numbers are not even close. They're night and day to any quarterback in the first 20 games. This kid just hasn't had a chance. Hasn't had a chance. His record at 8-10 or whatever it is, he played 20 games. Two of them weren't starts. So his record should be better. He just didn't have a run game, didn't have a defense, didn't have an offensive line, and still took less sacks in 20 games than Geno Smith. Geno Smith had double the sacks in what he played, 14 games this year? 15? In the 15 games he played, he had double the sacks as Aiden O'Connell had in 20-game span. 20 games. Come on, man. This kid can play football. Especially, he didn't stay consistent. That's the problem. I get that. He's not consistent. But how do you stay consistent when you have 4 coaches in 2 years, three head coaches, 4 offensive coordinators, however many different quarterback coaches? You can't expect him to stay consistent. What I look at is how consistent he was for all the shit that he went through, right? Doesn't Tom Brady say he wants a guy that hasn't been through adversity, a guy that doesn't fold like a lawn chair every time the pressure's on? Does Aiden O'Connell do that? Nah, bro. This dude comes in, he plays his heart out. He's, if he can stay healthy, right? He's damn good at throwing the ball. He plays with anticipation. He can read defenses. He throws guys open. What more do you need from a quarterback? He's intelligent. He's in the playbook. He knows the system before anybody else in that building. All the coaches have said, players have said, right? I mean, I'm not saying he's Joe Montana or Tom Brady, but I think the kid can play. I think he could definitely be a bridge quarterback for a season. And I guarantee, bro, I promise you, Aiden O'Connell wins more games if he starts and plays the whole entire year this season than the Raiders have won in the last 2 years. I promise you we win more than 5 games. We haven't been good offensively in a long time. It's never been the O-line's fault. It's definitely the O-line's fault. If you can't protect your quarterback, you can't expect them to be good. I mean, that's number one. If you can't run the ball, you can't expect your offense to be good. You can't expect your defense to be good because they're not going to get rest. They're going to be on the field constantly. It's got a million parts like a vehicle. You need tires, you need gas, you need a motor, you need oil, you need a steering wheel. You got to have all that shit. AOC is not good. That's not good. How's it? Okay. He's good. He's not great. He's good. I just text Pix Rebel. Nice. I'll look at him in a minute. Shout out. Hope you're having a good walk on the Broadway. He hasn't played the entire season with 22 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. That's not good. Also had 4 touchdown game. If you take those away, LOL. Wait, he had a. How would you take away a 4 touchdown game in the first half? You know how many? You know how many quarterbacks in history have had 4 touchdown games? 28. You know how many quarterbacks in the history of the NFL have had 4 touchdowns and a half? He's an elite company. Let me tell you that. Elite company. You could Google it. You could research it. You can pull up the history of quarterbacks in the NFL. You can pull up NFL history. You can pull up Raider history. Any history you want. 4 touchdowns in the first half. There's a handful of guys. Handful of guys. How can you take that away from them? AOC is way better than Geno. Reading defenses, way better. Pocket presence, way better. He's not mobile. He can't move around, but his pocket presence, his awareness is way better, bro. His accuracy, his release. You know what Aiden O'Connell's release is? Does anybody know? You know how fast he throws the ball? Average time to throw for Aiden O'Connell throughout college and NFL is 2.66 seconds. Now, if you're a bad quarterback in the NFL, you don't throw the ball in 2.66 seconds and have 22 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. You know who throws the ball? Whose release is the same and not better? Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Look it up. It's a fact. Their average time to throw the ball in the NFL is 2.665 seconds for Joe Burrow. It is 2.66 for Aiden O'Connell. That's faster than Caleb Williams. That's faster than Drake May. That's faster than a lot of these guys that were first overall picks. This kid was 4th round pick. 4th round. So yes, I think Aiden O'Connell is way better than Geno. Way better. He proved that. He proved that every time, bro. He was better than Gardner Minshew. This kid has outplayed everybody that's been in front of him, making $12 million for Gardner a season. Aiden O'Connell was making $1.2 million. You bring in Geno Smith making $32 million a season. Aiden O'Connell was making 1.4 last year. That's why this team is bad. You paid a quarterback to play worse than a guy that was making $1.4 million on your roster that you could have had starting while you built a team and then plugged your quarterback in afterwards, like everybody does in the NFL. But they don't do that. He won the games. He had a run game. Don't you need a run game in the NFL? Find me quarterbacks in the NFL that win without a running game. Go back and look at the last 3 years. Go look at Caleb Williams and his rookie record when they didn't have a run game. When they brought in Ben Johnson, they made it to the playoffs. I'm just saying. Jordan Love, he was doing okay. They went and got a running back like Josh Jacobs. They're in the playoffs. You got to have a running game as a quarterback. You can't be a good NFL team without having a run game. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at when Seattle started to click and blow teams out of the water. Their defense started turning the ball over. Their running back started running for over 100 and something yards a game. They were averaging like 140 plus yards or 150 yards a game. That's when quarterbacks get good. That's when teams get good. When everything is clicking. So, yeah. He can't carry an NFL team. He should be on the bench. Well, shit. You can say that about a lot of teams, right? Joe Burrow can't carry an NFL team. They score 30 points a game and still lose. Is he trash? Josh Allen drafted 7th overall. How many interceptions to touchdown ratio did he throw his first 2 or 3 years? Way worse than Aiden O'Connell. Way worse. Is he trash? He couldn't run a team. They lost a lot of games because of Josh Allen. Peyton Manning, 28 touchdowns to 26, 28 interceptions to 26 touchdowns his rookie year. What happened to Peyton Manning? They left him in. They developed him. They believed in him. They put guys around him to his strengths. Peyton Manning, how many Super Bowls did he win? How many Super Bowls did he go to? This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. We got to look at you can't just look at a quarterback and be like, oh, well, he was a fourth round guy. He got his opportunity and he sucked. No, the team sucked. The coaches sucked. The offensive line sucked. Everybody sucked. What do you mean? Everybody sucked. He carried his team to a Super Bowl. He carried a team that was Super Bowl ready, that all they needed was a quarterback and a couple pieces. They drafted a quarterback. His second year, they made it, right? It wasn't his rookie year. It was the following year. They made it to a Super Bowl. How did they make it to a Super Bowl? They intercepted Derek Carr on the goal line because they had a top defense. They also had a run game. And then their defense fell apart because they couldn't pay all those. And the Bengals haven't been shit since, man. It's football 101. Football 101. You have to have a good defense, a good running game, and a solid quarterback. He doesn't have to be great. He does not have to be great. Look at the Bears in 85 with Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon, throughout his career, I do believe has way more interceptions than touchdowns. But they won a Super Bowl with Jim McMahon. Why? They were the best defense in the NFL, and they had Walter flipping Payton as a running back, right? Didn't matter who your quarterback was. As long as he didn't throw more than 2 turnovers a game, their defense got him the ball back. You could throw an interception a game. You could throw 2 a game and not throw 1 touchdown. And the Bears still won. The Ravens, they did the same thing, right? The Ravens did the same thing. They had Ray Lewis. They had the best defense in all of football. They had the best safety in all of football. And they were just out there murdering people over and over and over again. They were giving up, averaging like 10 points a game. You bring in a quarterback that is okay, right? Trent Dilfer, not the greatest guy. I mean, was an okay, solid quarterback, bridge guy. They win a Super Bowl. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the best defenses, maybe, for a season all time. They just needed an offense. They trade for John Gruden. They come in with Brad Johnson. They win a Super Bowl. The same coach that had Rich Gannon playing lights out, the best football he's ever played in his life, the end of his career. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. It all has to be a fit, man. It all has to be a fit. Jim Plunkett, drafted number 1 overall to the Patriots. Didn't do shit. Went to another team, didn't do shit. Comes to the Raiders, that has a dominant defense, that has a running back, and he wins 2 Super Bowls. End of story, done. I'm done. I can argue till I'm red in the face, bro. You don't need a number 1 quarterback to win in the NFL. And the teams that have those quarterbacks, they're good, but they don't always make it to the Super Bowl. Why? Because after 3 or 4 years, they have to pay that quarterback $580 million to throw the ball 1 time. You don't need those dudes. You don't need them. You need guys like Sam Darnold that, was the first overall pick and somebody failed on, and you know how to get the best out of them. That's how you win Super Bowls to me. Or you draft a guy that is a starter day one that only has, a couple flaws that you could fix, like, maybe panicking under pressure, or, small things. That's how you win Super Bowls, right? You have a rookie contract on a cheap deal, but these teams that are paying, Josh Allen, you think the Bills are ever going to win a Super Bowl paying him what they're paying him and trying to pay all the guys that they're paying in that building? It's not like Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Look at that team. The Kansas City Chiefs are such in limbo because they went out and paid this dude a $500 million contract. $500 million to Patrick Mahomes. Now he's like, okay, just take the money back, restructure my contract. I don't need it, because they're starting to figure out You can't pay a quarterback, a number one corner, a number one, three number one wide receivers. You can't do that shit in the NFL. The best way the Raiders could win is go out, get a free agent, or just develop what you have in the building. Draft your quarterback this year or next year. Let him develop. That's the best chance. Carr let me down in the playoff game against the Bengals. Played super consecutive all game until the last couple drives. Yeah, I mean, look, you could say what you want. It was the playoffs. Jermaine Pratt made a hell of a play. He made a hell of a play, right? The receiver was open when he threw the ball. The linebacker just seen the ball and was quick enough at the time to make a play. And Jermaine Pratt is still making plays. He would have been on the Raiders making plays if it wasn't for a dumbass old coach. So, did you see the pick? No, I'm live, bro. I'm getting ready to get off though. They're picking a quarterback. Then they're taking AOC. Deserves a shot. That's okay to you. They're picking a quarterback when, I mean, no, yeah, it's okay because if Aiden O'Connell goes out and plays well, there's no, you know, there's no saying that Mendoza's going to be that guy, right? They might think he's ready year one. They might be like, damn, Aiden O'Connell's playing well. Let's just let this kid sit here and get better and pay him. But if anything, right, you see if you have a backup for the future, you already know you got a guy that can come in and win games in the right situations. In the wrong situations, he can still come in and win games. Um, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I don't. I'm not. I'm not a player fan, right? I'm a fan of the Shield. I'm a Raiders fan, so I like Aiden O'Connell. I think he has a chance to be a great backup or a starter on the right team. I think he can if he can stay healthy. And he's gotten better every single year, right? His mobility this year, when he was in the game, come on, you can't say it looked like nowhere as close to as bad as it did his rookie year. So, yeah, I'm totally fine with them picking a quarterback because he needs to develop. And whether it's through half the season, a full season, you know, 2 seasons, it doesn't matter. But at least you know what you have with this guy. And I would have been happy if they did it the last 2 years, right? All I've wanted for Aiden O'Connell and the Las Vegas Raiders is to see, can this dude do what he did his rookie year? His rookie year, he almost got us to the playoffs. We were 3-6 when he took over. Does anybody remember that? Everybody seems to quickly forget when Josh McDaniels was fired. We were 3-6, I do believe. 3-5, 3-6. Yeah, 9 games into the season. And Aiden O'Connell come in as a third string quarterback who never took reps with the first team, never even threw to Devontae Adams, never threw to Jacoby Myers, never threw to Michael Mayer, never threw to Trey Tucker. He never even touched the ball and threw it to any of these guys. Like he might have tossed it to him, but he never threw to any of them. And he comes in as a rookie and starts winning us games. We go and beat the Chiefs. We dominate the Chargers. When was the last time we had a quarterback that dominated the Chargers and the Chiefs? It was Aiden O'Connell's rookie year. It's like the defense started playing better. The run game picked up. Come on. Zamir White had his best season or best 4 games of his life when this or 6 games of his life. Josh Jacobs got hurt. He still come in and ran for 100 yards a game with Bo freaking Hardigree, bro. Bo Hardigree, a dude that had never called plays ever in the NFL, not one time. He's a quarterback coach that took an offensive coordinator job, and we were winning. And for some reason, somebody named Tom Brady said, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Let's get rid of everybody. Let's fire AP. Let's go get Gardner Minshew and put in front of this kid that he still outplayed through the whole season. Like, this team is all I wanted was a kid that has showed more potential than any 4th round quarterback Even Dak Prescott, look at Dak Prescott's rookie stats to Aiden O'Connell's. I'm telling you, like the kid showed potential, and then they pulled the rug out from underneath him. Why do you think Devontae Adams left? Go back and listen to the Devontae Adams interviews where he said, Aiden O'Connell's coming into his own. Devontae Adams' words were, if Aiden O'Connell can figure out who he is in the NFL, the sky is the limit for this kid. This is Devontae Adams, who played with Aaron Rodgers for a long, long time in good systems, right? And then you bring in Gardner Minshew and and Devontae in the offseason said, you know, it's a good quarterback battle, but Aiden's our starter. Devontae said, Aiden's our starter. Aiden's our guy. And then it starts to get a little bit of, you know, Gardner might be the starter. Gardner's going to be the starter because of the money they're paying him. And Devontae said, I'm out. I'm out, bro. I'm out. I'm not letting you ruin this kid's career and put Gardner Minshew in front of him. And he bounced. I'm telling you, that was it. AP said, oh, he's going to play, you know, whether it's preseason or not. And Devontae Adams said, nah, bro, nah. I'm not playing in the preseason, and I'm not catching hospital balls from Gardner Minshew. Did we not see the Netflix where he was screaming, get me the fuck out of here because Jimmy G is going to get me killed? But he was okay with Aiden O'Connell as a rookie. Just saying. Sam Darnold has talent. Sam Darnold really that much better than AOC? I don't think so. Maybe a little bit more mobility. I think Sam Darnold can move a little better. But let me tell you this. Let me ask you this question, and that's a damn good question, Raider Knight. Is Sam Darnold really much better than Aiden O'Connell? Well, guess what? His rookie year, he sure the fuck wasn't. His second year, nope. Third year, fourth, nah. Fifth, was he? Geno Smith's rookie year, Aiden O'Connell makes him look like a high school quarterback numbers compared to that. There hasn't been very many quarterbacks, if any, that I can remember. And even the announcers calling football games when Aiden was in his rookie year said the same thing. I can't remember a time a kid was a third string quarterback all throughout camp, never even threw to any of these guys, and comes in his first game, gets sacked 7 times, and leads them down for a chance to win, but gets picked off by Asante Samuels, one of the best defensive, you know, a legend defensive back, right? But the kid got sacked 7 times and still got up, kept playing, got up, kept playing, got up, kept playing. His first ever play of the game was a sack by Khalil Mack that rocked his world. And O'Connell got up, pulling dirt out of his face. You know what his next play was? 28-yard pass to Jacoby Myers. His first pass ever in the NFL. The first one, he got sacked. The next pass, go back and look at it. 28 yards. That was his first pass in the NFL. But the kid can't play. I just don't see how people can say that. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yes, he's inconsistent. But so was the team around him. Would his consistency possibly be better if there was a more consistent offense, a more consistent running game, more consistent receivers? AOC is learning to run. He's more athletic now. Yeah, way more athletic now. Like shit, he had a 12-yard run last year. 12 yards? Come on, that's probably more than he's ever ran in five rushing attempts ever put together. He didn't even look like a deer on ice this time. So he's growing. My point is, let me ask you this question. I'm gonna get off here. 3 hours is way too long. I'm missing all these guys. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the combine. I don't even know what all these offenses look like, but some of them got damn good footwork, a wide base, good balance. Some of these guys are going to be anchors in the NFL. But what I'm saying is, when you got a kid like that and you see the talent in the building and you have stupid enough people to not see what he can do, right? There's not too many guys, if any, like I said, that you can say came out in the fourth round and has had the situation, the adversity, the different coaches, the different systems, and he picks it up like this, bro, like this. When they changed from Dick Daniels and dropped half the playbook and brought in Bo Hardigree and he started adding, his little shit here and there every other week, that team got better. They were on a roll because of damn good quarterback play. It wasn't because of the defense. Yes, they were doing okay. They were getting, they still weren't causing turnovers. It's because we had a quarterback that could actually continue drives. And I don't know. I don't know. Lamar Jackson's still with the Baltimore Ravens for now. They're not even picking up AOC player option. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know what they do. And that's probably the best thing that could happen for Aiden O'Connell. If they don't pick up his player option and he's in free agency, somebody's going to give this dude some money and let him play. And if the quarterback in front of him gets hurt, he better hope to God he's a superstar making $50 million a year, or he might not get his job back. Lamar Jackson will never leave Baltimore. Never say never. They work during the summer exclusively. Who worked during the summer exclusively? Who's lying? What are you talking about? You need to stop smoking. It's affecting. Let me get you. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm telling you. I know you don't even take the time because you don't like Aiden O'Connell, so I know you're not going to watch film on him. But again, just for homework, for anybody in here that thinks I'm lying, I'm making shit up, Aiden O'Connell sucks ass, just for homework, for your own sake of not coming in here and, saying clown shit, just put on tape. Put on any game, watch 15 snaps. Watch 15 snaps. And then put on a team with the same record, with a better quarterback, or even a better record and a better quarterback, and watch the same 15 snaps. And don't tell me whether you see a dude that can't throw the football, that can't throw with accuracy, that can't lead receivers, that can't throw with anticipation. That's fine. That's fine if that's what you believe. But watch film on it. Watch film on it. Like, yes, he's got to have sometimes a 10-step drop instead of an 8, but he doesn't get sacked. He doesn't take a lot of sacks. He doesn't turn the ball over. That's a quarterback in the NFL. You can't ask for any more than that. Screw Tom Brady. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Look at Tom Brady's developing quarterbacks. What has he done? You need to start smoking that good shit, right? Tell him, Raider Knight, you need to start smoking, my guy. That's what I'm talking about. Dak Prescott was good during his rookie year. This is what I mean, bro. Yes, Dak Prescott was good his rookie year. But so was the fucking team, bro. The team was good. He was drafted in the 4th round for a reason. They had a quarterback. They didn't need one. He just happened to come out in camp and was like, oh shit, we got a quarterback. We hit the jackpot. The Raiders should have done the same damn thing. The same thing. Aiden O'Connell come out in preseason, drafted in the 4th round, murdered the Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. just mopped the shit out of them. Dog walked them. And everybody said, yep. We should put him behind Brian Hoyer. We should put him behind Brian Hoyer. Come on, man. Stop playing. Brady sucks as a business decision maker for the entire team. So far, he has. If you look at what Brady's done, he signed off on Geno Smith being a quarterback. Brady should be fired for that. They were good with Pete Carroll bringing in his sons as coaches. You should be fired for that. They let them go the whole entire year to save face and not look like, to make Pete Carroll look bad, which This is the Raiders, bro. We don't give a shit about when have we ever cared what coaches feel or what people think about what we do to coaches. They never have any other time. So Brady did that. He brought in Chip Kelly. They fired him. He was a part of that. From what the rumors are, and a little birdie in my ear said Tom Brady was the reason they drafted Cam Miller. He got stole off the practice squad because you couldn't develop him and couldn't figure out that trading for Kenny Pickett, a 5th-round pick, was the stupidest thing you could have ever done when you should have just threw Cam Miller to the fire. I mean, you did it with Aiden O'Connell. What was the problem there? So, yeah, Brady's done nothing but hurt this team, bro. They picked Gardner Minshew to complete with AOC. Listen to how that sounds. What do you mean? Listen to how it sounds. What has Gardner Minshew ever done in his career? Look at his rookie year, and then look at the rest of the years afterwards. His rookie year, his quarterback got hurt. He came into a damn good team also. Was drafted where he was for a reason. Yes, there should have been a competition. It doesn't matter if this is football. You shouldn't care about the name on the back, how much you pay them. It should be a competition at every single spot. Colton Miller should have to compete against Charles Grant this year. I don't care if he's making $20 million and Grant's a rookie making $1.4 million. I don't care. The best player should play. And that's how a coach should coach. And if the coaches aren't coaching like that, it's just favoritism. And you don't care about the players. You care about winning. Which that's fine. You're a coach. You should care about winning. But bro, you can't say there shouldn't be a competition at every single position. Why are we playing football? Why are you playing football? Just to pay guys because you feel that he's better than the other guy and let's start him because I feel like he's better? Nah, bro. Let's see. And the Raiders didn't do that. They had an open practice. Did you go to the open practice? Did you see Aiden O'Connell out there making Gardner Minshew look like shit when Gardner Minshew was fumbling the ball, throwing turnovers to a defense that he should know by now? He plays every day in practice. But Aiden O'Connell came in and looked way better. They still went with Gardner Minshew. So it's the way the NFL works, man. But there should be a competition at every single position. I think Eric Stokes should be brought back this year, but I think he should compete for his job. I think somebody should be drafted on that side of the ball, and they should compete. Max Crosby, if he comes back, should have to compete every single year. They should have not Tyree Wilson, but somebody. Charles Snowden probably won't be back, but whoever they bring in, they should draft a rookie and make Max Crosby compete for his job. It's the NFL. That's how shit goes. It doesn't matter if it sounds stupid because Gardner Minshew was a big name, but Gardner Minshew never did shit. He was trash. A bit of the O-line. You don't care about the Raiders? Nice. I don't care about the Raiders either. Remember AFC were competing for quarterback one. All the videos I saw showed AFC was better. They only started Minshew because of the money. Facts, my guy. Raider Knight killing it today with the hot take. Why did they sign Minshew if AOC was the future? You're asking us questions we don't know, but I do know the answer to that. Because they brought in a new GM and they fired Champ Bailey. What the hell is his name? Champ Kelly? Yeah. So, they had an intern GM. Brady wasn't good with the guys that was running the team, so they had to bring in Tom Telesco. And Tom Telesco thought by looking at the quarterbacks, Aiden O'Connell is too young, and it was a 4th-round pick, like you're saying, and let's bring in Gardner Minshew and bring him a veteran presence. But you know what happens when you bring in a $25 million quarterback for 2 years and he gets beat out in camp by a 4th-string rookie? You look like a dumbass as a GM. In your first year, are you going to look like a dumbass? Or are you going to put in Gardner Minshew and hope to God he outplays Geno Smith? That's what happened. Our AOC. And like Braden Knight said last year, all through camp, I follow Jesse Merrick. I follow all these dudes that are at every single practice, right? guys that post practice videos, guys that show what's going on. You can go back and watch any one of those videos. Um, Hyatt, all the people, Raider content creators or Raider content, not content, but um, whatever, Raider media that post the videos. If you go back and watch those videos, they're drop bags. Aiden O'Connell's dropping back balls out before Geno Smith. I showed those videos over and over and over again. I'm like, bro, this is the same thing as last year with Gardner Minshew. You got three quarterbacks, all dropping back, all throwing to different receivers. Even Cam Miller, as a rookie, was getting the ball out before Geno. And I said, this is a problem. This is a problem. They're not going to go with the best quarterback in the building. They're not going to be able to bench Geno if he sucks because of the favoritism, because of the way Pete Carroll feels about him. These are all things we already knew on this channel, and everybody that comes on this channel already had known that, damn, if Geno sucks, you're prepared because we already talked about it. We already knew. So, though, there was no competition. Geno did not look better than AOC in any of the camps, even the live camps, the open camps that you let people go to live. It wasn't even close, bro. So I don't know how Brady could show up to one of those practices and be like, yep, it looks pretty good. Let's go with Geno because he's a veteran. Nah, bro. Sometimes people make wrong decisions just because they're the owner or the GM or the minority owner don't mean they're right. I mean, come on. Look at all these guys like Mel Kiper, who swears up and down Will Levis was the best quarterback in the draft 3 years ago, that fell to the second round. Mel Kiper still stands on Shador Sanders was the best quarterback in all of the draft last year. Like, come on, man. These dudes they get paid for this shit. They've been doing this their whole life. People are wrong all the time. And coaches could be wrong. GMs could be wrong. Why do you think Tom Telesco only lasted 1 year? He brought in Gardner Minshew, and it didn't work. But when Gardner Minshew got benched, the team looked way better. That's why he didn't have a job. That's why the head coach didn't have a job. Kenneth Walker is better than AOC because he won MVP. Well, I would hope Kenneth Walker is better than Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell runs a 4.89 40 or 4.79 40. I hope he's better. They look down on AOC because he was a McDaniels hire. That's a fact too. I agree with that. Raider Knight, 100%. But they don't bitch about the other hires that are still in the building that they, can't get out of their mouth. So it just baffles me, man. It baffles me. That same people hate on Michael Mayer too. Like they're like, oh, trade Michael Mayer every single year. The guys that Josh McDaniels picked are probably some of the best guys we have in the building. to be honest, like they had a pretty decent draft. It was, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't bad. Tucker and Mayer exclusively threw with each other during the summer. It was reported on. That was the following year of his rookie year, my guy. That wasn't his rookie year. His rookie year, he was holding the clipboard. He wasn't throwing to any of those receivers. He was not projected to be the starter. That was after he had already played and played his ass off as a rookie. Then that offseason, they were throwing together. So they had the chemistry. They had the timing. And, yeah, they messed that up too. If you don't turn over the ball, don't move the ball in the red zone, then how positive is it? He did move the ball in the red zone. His rookie year, they were down to the Jets, the New York Jets. We were losing to the Jets. And Aiden O'Connell drove us down the field, threw a beautiful pass as he rolled out of the pocket, avoided the defensive tackle, and floated a bomb to Michael Mayer for the win in the red zone. But you know how many times he threw the ball in the red zone that year? Anybody know? Anybody want to guess? Anybody? It was under 10 times. You know how many times we ran in the red zone? 80 something percent. I think 82%. The Raiders got inside the 20 and ran the ball with no running game. But it's Aiden O'Connell's fault. That's crazy shit. All right, there's still a lot of comments. I'm done reading your shit. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. 3 hours into it. Who said Redbone? What? Who said Redbone? I don't know. Redbone end zone? I don't know. What? Shador wasn't the best quarterback. I know. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said there's guys like Mal Kiper who's supposed to be, that great draft quarterback whisperer that knows all these guys, right? He said he was. I'm saying. You should go hear what he said about Aiden O'Connell. Just saying. Mayor is nice. When Brock Bowers wasn't out there, when Brock wasn't playing, Michael Mayer was shining. But when he is playing, you only have so many balls to go around. The Cowboys are not a bad team. The Cowboys have a damn good coach who I believe is going to be a dog. I think he's going to take that team, to the old school Cowboys. The problem is you have Jerry Jones as the owner, and until he relinquishes duties to his son, which might be the worst thing, might be worse than Jerry Jones, right? I don't know about the Cowboys. So they have an offense. They have all their pieces in place. They need to fix the defense bad. Very, very bad. Appreciate y'all. Much love. As always, protect yourself, protect your mind, always protect your family and your friends, and be loyal. Go Raiders. Raiders. Peace. Y'all have a good Sunday.